crazy for saying that we probably have the same kind of
I think
information on
so.
other countries?
Because this conversation I had with Klon, or that I watched with Klon Kinchin, he was saying if the United States created an app that 1/3 of all Chinese civilians were using, and we were able to literally track their personalities and major trends and currents in their culture, the CIA would be like, wow, we'll take that.
Mhm.
We don't have that.
We don't have an app. I think we have means.
I don't think
I
not on
I think
this
we
level.
do, but maybe
would-
not to the extent that I mean, you got to think about it this way. Everybody has it
Everyone
on
has
their
it
person,
all
their
the
phone.
time.
It's with them all the time. Like we don't have anything like that.
No.
How do you know?
Because it
Well, I
hasn't
don't know what it would
existed.
be.
Yeah, the
because it'd have to
technology
be
hasn't
something they
existed.
willingly download. Something that the Chinese, the Russians, whatever, would
So
have
there's
to
no
willingly
way
put
to-
on their own phones.
There's no way to get in the back door of some
I
other
don't-
app that already exists.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
It's also
I
illegal
just
here
ass-
in this country to do that.
That's-
to
yeah,
do it to
that
your
wouldn't
own-
stop us.
to do it to your own citizens.
Yeah.
Not to do it to people in the rest of the world.
Right.
Right.
And we're not. You don't think we're doing that?
I don't know. I don't
think
know.
we have the
We
capability.
had John
Maybe.
Bolton, John Bolton yesterday saying, "Yeah, I plan coups."
That's different.
Yeah, that is a little
But it
different.
shows you that we are doing that.
No, I don't. I
there's
think
no way that we're sitting back on the sidelines and just watching.
I
That
would
happen.
say
There's no way.
if there's a way for our government to do it to citizens of other countries, I'm sure it's being done. I'm just not sure they have the ability to do it.
Why? We literally can go to Mars
Because I just don't. You would have to get people voluntarily around the world to
If-
download a particular app and use it all the time.
So there's
long.
only one way to gather this information, and that's to have an app that
I don't know,
downloads.
Kevin. I don't know
This is
all
what
the
I-
technology that exists.
This is what I'm saying. We have really, really smart people. If we don't think that we have some way of learning these things, I think we're being weird.
I'm sure it's some. I just don't know if it's to the
I-
extent they're
we-
able to do it.
You think that we're dumber than Russia?
No, I just.
Are
We're
you?
dumber than China.
Well,
I mean,
I mean,
well,
that's why
well.
I said Russia.
yeah.
I'm not
Well.
talking about Russia. We 100% have more information than Russia has. What I'm saying, China is smarter than we are. And when it comes to creating something where citizens voluntarily download an app where they are giving you personal information all day long on all of their texts, all of their shopping habits, all of their online habits, all of their physical activities, we don't have that. China
Yeah, I don't.
does.
How do you know
I
we don't have that?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that'd be
I'd say
very
that's a
difficult to do.
fairly- I think it's a fairly large assumption to think that our entire intelligence community has not come up with something to do.
They probably have
those kinds of
something,
things.
just maybe not to the scale, because you also have to keep in mind that China and Russia are much better. Their government, and I don't want to say better because it's not a better way to live, but they are much more. They restrict what their citizens are allowed to do in a much greater
Yes.
way than we do.
Yes.
So
Which is why this system wouldn't work, and we would probably use something else.
I don't know.
I don't know what that would be.
I'm just saying. I think
I would
believe we
say-
have smart people who figure out these kinds of things, and I think we're in one way or another
You're better off.
doing the same thing, maybe in a different way, but doing the same thing.
You're better off believing the aliens are helping.
What?
Yes, I would say
Yeah,
I would bet
the aliens,
my entire
alien
life
technology.
that China and TikTok has more information
So
on
you're
the
saying-
American population than we have at all on
I
the
would agree with
Chinese
that.
population.
I say that's a large assumption, and you guys hate America.
What?
Kidding.
Hey, Kevin.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope, we use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie cutter portfolios,
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
but you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Soaring inflation, rising interest rates, stock market volatility, and higher taxes. How will these unprecedented challenges impact you and your retirement? Find out in a one-night adult education class, Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. In just 3 hours, you'll learn how to overcome the unprecedented challenges facing the next wave of retirees. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. Learn from a fiduciary advisor with decades of financial planning experience. Register now by calling 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
Scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
For more than 54 years, Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been one of St. Louis's top names in home improvement. They have a commitment to put quality and professionalism first in everything they do. This is Debbie Monterey, and it's probably been about a decade ago that Chesterfield Fence and Deck built a fence for me, an Eastern cedar fence that still looks fantastic because what Chesterfield Fence and Deck offers you is great value. Now, if you're spending money and you look for the cheapest price and somebody builds you something that falls apart the next season or starts splintering or warping, that's not a great value. At Chesterfield Fence and Deck, they want you to enjoy your outdoor living space, whether it is a deck or a fence, a patio, a pergola, a sunroom, a screen room. They're going to always use the highest quality products and the best workmanship, and they stand behind everything they do. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. Mention me, Debbie Monterey. They'll take 20% off your next outdoor project. Find them online or in the Chesterfield Valley, chesterfieldfence.com.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
You're listening to the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Scores, Kevin Wheeler. If you were watching on Facebook.com,
Kevin was busy being wrong during the break.
You would see like a lot of hand gestures and a lot of talking because we actually never we continued that last conversation into the break. We don't need to repeat it now because it was basically the same conversation.
I think
just a little bit longer.
You woke up with a wasp in your slacks or something.
A wasp in your slacks?
Yes.
You mean like a bug on my ass? Because that's the real phrase. It's got a bug up his ass.
I think I'm going to use Amy's. It's a lot tougher to say.
You have a wasp in your pants.
Slacks.
Yeah, in your slacks.
And slacks. What the hell? She would. I mean, why would you just say trousers?
Because I love the word trousers, but for some reason, the word slacks.
Got a wasp in my trousers.
Yeah. You have a wasp
What's
in
the
your
thing
slacks.
that's, I got a snake in my boots. Isn't that what it is from Toy Story? Right? Isn't that one of the things that Woody says?
I've never heard that before. But again, I don't think I've watched
Thanks, Drew. Drew back there just backed me up.
Okay.
There's a snake in my boots.
Did not know
That's
that
what
was a
Woody
thing.
says.
Yeah.
How do I know that and you guys don't?
I don't know.
Amy's a child. You have kids. Why don't you know that?
I have a kid, and it was a long time ago.
They barely talk
That's when
anymore.
Toy Story was a long time ago.
I know. That's what I mean. I haven't seen. if I saw Toy Story, it was 20 years
There's
ago.
a snake in my boots.
All I know is the show's gone to hell before it even started.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But
I was ready for the show to be over at about 9:15.
speaking of things going to hell, the January 6th meetings
Wow.
continue.
Oh yeah, January 6th.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
Lord.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought the more interesting thing that came out yesterday related to January 6th was actually the recording of Steve Bannon and not the interviews that we saw at the hearings yesterday. And not that those weren't important, not that there wasn't interesting information there, but I don't know about you guys, but I think, you know, the Steve Bannon being secretly recorded, what was it, a month before the
It
election?
was October 30th or 31st.
Describing
Before the-
exactly
yes,
what would
2020.
happen was pretty fascinating. Do we want to play a little bit of that?
Yeah, let's do. And what you're talking about is it was a report or it was leaked audio that Mother Jones got a hold of. And I'm
Right.
not exactly sure who he was speaking to.
Now, here's in the story, the way it was written to, he was speaking to a group that was led by a really wealthy, as it was put, Chinese exile. So somebody that I guess was exiled from China, but has a lot of money. And there were people
So like
there,
a speaking engagement.
something along, it was more along the lines, it sounded like, of a meeting, like a strategy meeting of some kind. And the way the story was written is that these were all people that worked for, one of them worked for a media outlet that was funded by this wealthy guy. I forget what his name is off the top of my head, but they were all kind of in there talking about in advance coverage for the election. That's kind of what the background of this was. And somebody in the meeting, I guess, recorded on their phone.
And what Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner. The Democrats, more of our people vote early that count. Theirs voted mail. And so they're going to have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's going to take advantage of it. That's our strategy. He's going to declare himself a winner. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it's going to be a firestorm. We're going to have Antifa crazy, the media crazy, the courts are crazy, and Trump's going to be sitting there mocking, tweeting, "Shot, you lose. I'm the winner. I'm the king." And he'll be all over. He'll be going, "Where's Hunter? Is Hunter on a crack pipe?" I mean, no, he'll be, because then it doesn't matter. Remember, here's the thing. After then, Trump never has to go to a voter again. He's going to fire Wray, the FBI director. He's going to say, "F you." How about that? Because he's never going to. He's done his last election. Oh, he's going to be off the chain. He's going to be crazy. Also, if Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be even crazier. Because he's going to sit right there and say they stole it.
Agree.
I'm directing the Attorney General to shut down all ballot places in all 50 states. It's going to be no. He's not going out easy. If Biden's winning, Trump is going to do some crazy shit.
So that was October of 2020 that meeting
Just a few
took
days
place.
before the election.
And I mean, there's two ways to look at that, right? And I don't think that one of them is valid. But the two ways to look at that is he knows Trump so well, he's making a prediction. And the other part is he's in on it. He's been talking about it with people. Because what he said there early, I'm going to try to find this spot, because what he said there early was something like, "This is our strategy." I think it's in this part
he
here.
said this is our strategy.
The Democrats, more of our people vote early that count. Theirs voted mail. And so they're going to have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's going to take advantage of it. That's our strategy.
That's our strategy, right? So that is that not a significant piece of news? That, and again, I know people are going to be like, "How do we know it's him? It could be a deep fake." Like, that's coming, but that's not a valid point either. This is a conversation recorded before the election, saying all of these things are going to happen, saying that's our strategy. Not just saying, "Hey, I know Trump and I know what he's going to do." He said that's our strategy.
But it totally tracks with what you would expect to have happened prior to the. I said it was going to happen. In fact, I said it before 2016 because if you remember, for about a 2 to 4 week period, and it may have even been longer, but the way I remember it, it was about 2 to 4 weeks ahead of the 2016 election. He started laying the foundation for their stealing the election from me. Because it was never going to be a thing where he lost outright. It would only be a thing where if he lost, It was because somebody took it from him.
Yeah. So I'm watching a rally right now. This was in Nevada in 2020 before the election. This is on NBC covering his rally. And Trump says, if he loses, it's because the election was rigged. He set this up.
The election before.
Yeah, I say he said that in 2016.
But then he won.
Yeah.
And because there was probably a thought on his side that they were going to lose. But in order for him to save face, it was, well, I lost, but I only lost because they stole it from me. It could never be I lost fair and square. Something nefarious had to have happened in order for me to lose. And he tried to set it up 2016. He ended up winning, and he tried to set it up again in 2020, and then we saw what happened.
And then, of course, yesterday and the last couple of hearings for January 6th, we've seen the people inside, like Pat Cipollone, saying there was no evidence of any steal.
Your exclusive home for Cardinals baseball.
The 1-2 pitch.
You hear the games here.
Pujols hits a drive.
But the conversation never ends. Sunday mornings at 10:15. Wednesday mornings at 9:50.
We welcome in live the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
Sunday mornings at 11:45. Monday mornings at 9:50. It's 5 minutes with number 5.
It was 1999 that I got drafted.
Plus John Rudy, Ricky Horton, and Mike Claiborne keep you covered with up-to-the-minute Cardinal news.
Oliver Marmol, a lot of baseball.
Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. A Redbird winner! KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
I'm Nick Schroer. The woke left is trying to destroy America by taking away our rights, defunding the police, and indoctrinating our children into socialists. This is not the America our founding fathers envisioned. I'm fighting them, and with your help, we can take America back. I backed the blue 100% and fought to give police the tools they need to keep our families safe. I helped pass the Second Amendment Preservation Act to ensure Joe Biden and his cronies can't take guns away from law-abiding citizens. And last year, I opposed raising the gas tax.
Nick Schroer sponsored Missouri's pro-life trigger law, ensuring we would be the first state in the country to ban abortions after Roe v. Wade was overturned. He sponsored the Parents' Bill of Rights, which would ban radical ideologies like critical race theory in our schools. And as our state senator, Nick Schroer will protect girls' sports from boys who want to pretend to be girls. Nick Schroer, an American First conservative, paid for by friends of Nick Schroer.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Men, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or PE, experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. To help you last longer in the bedroom, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications with men lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. See results on first visit guaranteed or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies and 83 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. The race to succeed Prime Minister Boris Johnson is being called Britain's most diverse political leadership campaign. Half of the 8 contenders to replace Johnson as Conservative Party leader are not white, but if the contenders reflect the face of modern Britain, the winner will be chosen by an electorate that does not. The next party leader who will become prime minister will be chosen by about 180,000 conservative members who tend to be affluent. Surging prices for gas, food, and rent catapulted U.S. inflation to a new 4-decade peak in June, further pressuring households and likely sealing the case for another large interest rate by the Federal Reserve, with higher borrowing costs to follow. The peaches are ripe at Eckert's. Pick Your Own Peaches starts today. The Eckert's Farm in Belleville and the Grafton location. You can also pick blackberries and fresh vegetables. They are cleaning up debris southbound 55 before Route M. The right lane is closed as a result. It could be closed for another half an hour. There's a stalled vehicle westbound 70 past Adelaide Avenue on the right shoulder, and another stalled eastbound 70 to Lucas and Hunt Road. Be prepared to stop, but that could be cleared up in the next few minutes. The KMOX forecast sponsored by Farm and Home Supply. Partly mostly sunny, fairly low humidity, the high 90, overnight low 72 downtown, dropping into the 60s in many of the suburbs. The sunny hot day tomorrow, Thursday's high 93. Right now it's 83 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
Stop by your local Farm and Home Supply store on Saturday, July 16th for our Summer Sizzle Sale. Save on summer items like 40% off all sandals, flip-flops, and clogs, 30% off Broner summer hats, or 20% off Norpro canning utensils. View all of the deals right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
KMOX News Time is 10:31.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
A bad team facing a good team is never completely out of it.
Nick Costos, co-host of You Better You Bet, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on the BetQL network.
There's 162 games in the season. The best teams are going to lose 60-plus times, and the worst teams are going to win 60-plus times. Each night is its own individual entity. That's what makes betting on the baseball regular season so much fun.
All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Costos and Ken Barkley, streaming weekdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com. Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I'm sure that you've felt the shift in the real estate market and have wondered how it will affect you. Is it time to buy or is it time to sell? What are your options? Hi, I'm Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Give us a call and we can discuss a strategy that works for your individual needs in this ever-changing market. Quality and experience at a more affordable rate. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444. 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Those who've built their own financial success know that moving forward requires not just the right tools, but an in-depth knowledge of how to use them. That's why Edelman Financial Engines gives you a dedicated wealth planner supported by a team of experts. We know a modern wealth planning relationship demands human insight powered by advanced technology. Our advice is tailor-made for your personal goals, and our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research. We model more than 38,000 securities, so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. See what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit EFEWealthPlanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines. Built for those who built themselves.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Join me Monday mornings at 9:50 for our new feature, 5 Minutes with Number 5. And you know who that is? Albert Pujols. 5 Minutes with Number 5. Mondays at 9:50 a.m. on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
All right, you're back in on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. We're taking a little bit of a look into the origins of Uber. Happy to have Elahe Zadi with us, media reporter for the Washington Post. Elahe, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. So in your piece, Elahe, I mean, some of the allegations from Mark McGann, who is a high-ranking executive at Uber who recently left the company, he says that they, quote, sold people a lie. Now, he was someone who was involved with getting Uber into different cities, working with governments and, you know, the public's vision of what Uber could be. Can you kind of lay out the main issue here that he's saying was controversial or potentially illegal in Uber's actions?
Yes, for sure. And, you know, for those of us in the United States, Mark McGann isn't someone who, you know, has maybe name recognition or we recognize him by face. But in Europe, he was the public face of Uber between 2014 and 2016, which was a period of great expansion for Uber around the world and especially in Europe. And he was the person out there pushing this narrative that Uber was a tech company that, you know, old regulations relating to taxis were not relevant to them. And there were a lot of promises about economic upward mobility for drivers and that this would also benefit passengers. Now, what Mark McGann has revealed through him basically handing over more than 124,000 documents to The Guardian, and then which shared these documents with a consortium of journalists, including the Washington Post, what they reveal is that internally, Uber knew, and this is what Mark McGann has since said, that it was entering into new cities, into markets around the world, knowing that their operations were contrary to local law, that they were illegal in these places, and yet they still pushed it and expanded it. The mantra and the thinking being, according to Mark McGahn, was that you go in, you grow the market, you push media, you push the marketing, and people will get really excited, and then the governments will change their minds. And so Mark McGahn is now saying, I was involved in selling essentially a lie, and that this has in part compelled him to, quote, blow the whistle.
So beyond this, there was something particularly, I think, distressing in that they were intending to use the safety issues that Uber drivers were facing. Like they were facing some violence, and the CEO says, well, hey, we can use that. Like we can use that to curry favor with people. Is that what happened?
Yeah, so the former CEO at the time, Travis Kalanick, who in 2017 exited the company amid a lot of high-profile disputes. At the time, what the documents show that back in January 2016, when there was taxi protests that were violent, Uber organized, Kalanick urged his top lieutenants to organize a counter-protest in Paris. And that, when his fellow executives expressed concern that, this might imperil Uber drivers, might put them in a dangerous situation, he wrote, quote, violence guarantees success. And that this was something that whenever there were other corporate strategies as to when there was violence inflicted upon Uber drivers to sort of push these narratives in the media, that this was viewed as beneficial to Uber's strategy of currying sympathy and favor among officials and the public to support Uber and its agenda. I mean, it's worth noting that Travis Kalanick's spokesperson says that he, never wanted to push violence. Even Uber's current spokesperson said that no one at the company, including Kalanick, wanted Uber drivers to be endangered. Nevertheless, these internal documents do show that there were conversations about using this as a narrative. And Mark McGahn, to his involvement, said that he apologizes and feels terrible for ever being involved in trivializing such violence.
So one of the stunning things to me, LA, was the levels that this went to. I mean, we're talking about involving Emmanuel Macron. We're talking about Joe Biden's name coming up in this. They were like hyper aggressive about this, and it seemed to me assuming a position of power that they may not have had.
Yeah, and it's worth remembering, let's place this in time. So the documents range from 2013 to 2017. And this was a period of time in which sort of the tech and business and political world were still in thrall with companies like Google and Amazon and Facebook. And the view was Uber was the next big thing. And so you have these really powerful players around the world and all strata of society viewing Uber as this opportunity, right? And that there were these big promises made. And so, yeah, you mentioned Emmanuel Macron. There were also, the documents revealed how Uber worked with, allied itself with Russian oligarchs in a bid to get closer to Vladimir Putin. And so, when we were looking around the world in these massive markets, there was, cozying up with some of these more questionable leaders.
And I know we got to let you go. So just in the final seconds, do we expect there to be any fallout or penalties that Uber will face?
Yeah, it's unclear at this point. Uber spokeswoman made the point that some of these more high-profile things that erupted 5 years ago led to one of the most, high-profile corporate reckonings of the time. In certain countries, in France, there's some conversations as to whether anything improper happened with Emmanuel Macron. And I just think we're going to continue to see if there's more and more to come. But it wasn't like Uber at this point was viewed as people had a sense in the past because of these high profile falling out elements that Uber had, there was something there, right? And this isn't entirely surprise, but in a lot of these countries, I'm expecting to see how what Uber did in the past in those countries, how that's going to impact their growth in the future.
She is Elahe Izadi. She does great work with the Washington Post, a media reporter. Elahe, we really appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you can find Elahe on Twitter, by the way, at her name. It's ELAHE LZADI. So I'm sorry, IZADI is capital I. Looked like an L when I was reading it. Fascinating thing to me about that story, and I alluded to it in my question, but there's a quote that I wanted to put out there because it's just stunning. So this goes back, as she pointed out, a number of years. This is during the Obama administration that a lot of this is happening. And Joe Biden was vice president, and there was supposed to be a meeting between Biden and this Kalanick at the World Economic Forum. And apparently Biden was running late. And this guy Kalanick texted somebody, said, I've had my people let him know that every minute late he is one less minute he will have with me.
The arrogance, man. The absolute arrogance. You're meeting with the vice president.
This is crazy to me. And I do think this goes back to the whole attitude of like Silicon Valley, of Meta and Facebook.
The big tech.
Uber, the big tech. Because, and even the Elizabeth Holmes with Theranos. And Charlie and I, a few months ago, talked to a reporter for the Wall Street Journal and said kind of the ethics of these startup companies in the tech world, it's super gray because there's a fine line between promising what your company can be to get buy-in and then just like flat out lying about what you have the capability to do. And that's why the documentaries on Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos are just mind-blowing. And I said, how can this not be illegal? And he said, well, with these tech companies, with these startups, they're super aggressive. They move very fast, and they're almost moving faster than our laws, our governments, and we can react to it.
Do you know why they are? Because there is, and I used the word arrogance a moment ago, and I don't want to paint every startup in that light because they're not all like this. But there is a general sense on the part of people who are responsible for startups that they are changing the world. Like, we look at what we are doing to make the world better. Like, there's this God complex I think a lot of these CEOs have that. Like, I think Zuckerberg's got it. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that that the people at Apple have the same sort of look at what we're doing. Look at how we're making the world better.
Hell,
so
they say those things on stage.
they
during
do
the
it because
product
they
reveals.
mean it, and I think they believe it.
But
I
here's
think they
the
get to
thing.
a point where they think we are God, so you should be beholden to us.
And to play devil's advocate here in the sense that there's
Are you saying they're the devil? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I am. The reason why they have this arrogance and say they're changing the world, because in many ways they have.
Yeah.
I mean, smartphones
Mm-hmm.
and social
But not
media.
necessarily for the better all the time.
That's exactly it. In the same way that that you see these scientists, sometimes they're a little bit rogue, but scientists like going into DNA and it's like, we can play God, we can clone. And we're thinking maybe we're moving into an area we're not ready to go.
It's the old Jeff Goldblum thing.
Yes. Or even, again,
The Jurassic Park.
Yeah, he's like, you didn't stop to think whether or not you should, just
only if
because you
could.
can.
Yeah.
Right.
And the same thing I think goes with when we were looking at like weaponry, right? And and nuclear war. We did it and they're like, oh my gosh, what have we ushered the world into? I'm not comparing this to nuclear war, but what I am saying is there's a point where technology and how we're changing the course of world events, it's more, we don't know the consequences of what these are going to be. And my goodness, smartphones, social media has had many negative
I
consequences.
love having a smartphone. I love having access to everything, but I can concede that I'm not necessarily sure it's better.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a better life. I don't know if it's better for us. I like having it. Just like people who like smoking, they might love it, but it's not necessarily better because you like it. It's not necessarily better that you like alcohol. But I love having this thing. I'm not convinced that we are all better off for it.
I think the ceiling's high and the floor is low. Twitter, news, getting immediate from people on the ground, that's great.
Yes.
The Twitter cesspool trolling, that's low.
Yeah. The problem to me, though, isn't the tech; it's people. Like
People
if
are
people,
always the problem.
I know exactly right.
Well,
exactly right.
This is why I'm backing out of buying Twitter.
Well, the fine folks over at STL Fence Works, they have been serving the St. Louis, the St. Charles, the Warren, and Franklin counties for over 50 years, way back in 1971, when Russ and Carolyn Long opened STL Fenceworks, and now their son, Sean Timothy Long. He runs the company. And here's the thing. Right now, we're talking about inflation. We're talking about how expensive everything is, whether it's groceries or travel or, of course, gas prices. There's also the supply chain issues. Materials are hard to come by. STL Fenceworks is bucking the trend when it comes to those issues. Right now, they have more supplies and materials on hand for fencing and decking than they've had at any other time in their 50-year history. And also, because they're the #1 fence and deck contractor in the state of Missouri, they've been able to leverage that position to make sure that they can keep their supplies and materials on hand and that they can keep their prices low. When you get a project from STL Fenceworks, you know it will be completed by an experienced craftsman in a timely manner with a lifetime warranty that surpasses anything else in the industry. Visit them today at stlfenceworks.com.
If you're having a bad day, if you're having a bad week, if you're having a bad year, you're having a bad month, we're human beings. We love each other. We will protect each other. We will take care of each other. Just look around. It happens every single day. Always, you hear the saying, treat others like you would like to be treated. I'm saying it, you hear it, but take it for what it's worth. Look at how you treat others. We all believe we're like the nicest people in the world, but we have bad moments. We have bad times. Something happened to us. But when you see the first person you see, don't be mean to that person. Don't ruin their day. And the next person that you run into that's having a bad problem, they're not going to ruin your day. Remember, we're good people. We're the United States of America. We're the strongest, most giving country in the universe. Remember that. And we do work together. We do not hate each other. Listen to the other person. Learn, enjoy, and God bless.
It's Mark Cox. Grab your lederhosen. We're off to Bavaria, castles and medieval villages, Germany's most beautiful city, Munich, the Hofbrauhaus, and majestic Zugspitze in the Alps. We'll even see Austria. $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. We'll follow the rise and fall of the Nazi Party. We'll see the Dachau concentration camp and Hitler's Eagle's Nest. I'll see you at the Glockenspiel.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. How long have you had sharp pain in your heel or that burning sensation on the bottom of your feet? Do you want to lose weight and exercise, but cannot because of foot, ankle, or low back pain? Many people come to the Good Feet store talking about these same issues. The Good Feet store has helped thousands of customers.
The pain in my foot was so bad I could not walk around for any length of time. I walked in the Good Feet store in pain, and I walked out pain-free.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief to fit any budget. No shots, no surgery, no medication. Come in for a free test walk today.
Spark Coworking St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Coworking community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
When you're trying to hire, all that searching, screening, and interviewing can become its own job. You need Indeed, the end-to-end hiring solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
How long does it take an adult to learn to swim? It typically takes 20 hours of set lessons. What are you waiting for? Go to swimonfoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Amy Marks scores.
This is my show, my microphone.
On the show.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, trending sponsored by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. Amy, you get to go first on trending today because you always seem to end up last, but I think it's because sometimes you don't always see the trending things that you want first, and now you've got a good one.
Yeah, sometimes what's trending, I'm like, nope.
Yep, it's like boring.
Nope, boring, inappropriate. I don't get it.
Inappropriate? What's that mean?
There was one last week that was trending, and I skipped it, and you're like, I got mine, and it was the one that I had skipped.
Well, yeah, so inappropriate to Amy is perfect for me.
Yes. Guess what's trending? The St. Louis Blues.
Oh.
And this is not trending for you. This is the national trending. And that's because the rumors are the St. Louis Blues and forward Robert Thomas are closing in on an 8-year, $64 million deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's a UFA after next year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very young. So like an 8-year deal for a guy in his, what's he, 24 now? 23, maybe? He's not very young.
Because he was 19 in 2019,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
he?
I mean, he's a very young player. So, I mean, this probably takes him to his 30th birthday.
Oh, and it's no longer hearing.
It's no longer just a trend?
Now it's been solidified. Jeremy Rutherford confirmed in the past hour that Thomas and the Blues have agreed to an 8-year contract extension worth $64 million.
Well, that's great news,
Yeah.
especially because they may be losing a name or two from this team. So it's nice to know you'll have him around for a while.
He just turned 23. So he'll be 31 when this deal is over.
Do 8-year deals scare you? Because a friend texted me this morning that he said, oh, I love Robert Thomas, but 8 years scares me.
8-year deals scare me when the guy is 28, 29, 30. They don't scare me when the guy's 23.
Yeah. Not too worried about it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look, if he's really good, and hockey players tend to be good longer, I think, in a lot of cases, than maybe you are if you're a baseball player. But to me, if he's good for like 5 of those years, like really productive for the first 5, you know, you deal with the last 3, whatever. But you're paying for the front half at least of that contract. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
No, it's a smart deal when you can lock up a really talented player who, honestly, let's be honest, he's already really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's more in the tank still.
Absolutely.
Like, he's not done by any means. I don't see why there can't be another couple of years worth of growth in him before we see him at his max potential.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and I know this goes without saying, but, you know, you look at a Jordan Kyrou. You look at some of the young talent that the Blues
He'll be next, by the way.
They're going to be dynamic.
Kyrou will be next with
Yeah.
one of these deals if he's interested in it. But and that doesn't mean, by the way, I'm not saying in the next few days, just saying at some point. Hey, guys, you know what's trending in food?
Ooh,
Oh,
hot
God.
dogs.
What?
It's National French Fry Day.
It is?
And can I just say, I'm so happy that we're back to calling them French fries.
What
Could
were
you
we
imagine
calling them?
Freedom fries.
Nobody
Oh, that was
really-
like 20 years.
I know.
Nobody did that.
Well, they did, but as a joke.
No, I think some people were serious about it.
Yeah,
which is so
It's-
silly.
It's National French Fry Day. Does that make you want to go get French fries?
There, nothing
more than usual. I mean,
Yeah, nothing makes me not want to get them.
So McDonald's French fries are my best, but
Really?
my favorite. I mean, they're the best.
No.
A few years ago, instead of doing a bar crawl, some friends and I did a French fry crawl, where you just get French fries at all the different fast food places, which is pretty fun.
See,
by the way.
I think my favorite fries are actually Wingstop.
Really?
Wingstop fries are amazing.
I don't think had them.
Oh, they're good.
Wow.
They're good like regular. They're good if you do like the what do you call it? The fancy version where you put all the stuff on them, loaded. Like
It's called poutine.
No,
okay.
cheese
See, that's like
and,
I have issues with people who pour stuff on the fries.
You don't-
What do you mean?
Fries
Like
are meant to be
bacon and
dipped
cheese and
into
all that?
ketchup.
no.
You can't pour the ketchup on.
No,
top
that's
of the fries.
ridiculous.
No, I'm talking about like when you make them like basically nachos out of French fries.
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
I
know
think
what's
we
great?
Stole that from poutine.
Like,
Brian said.
Yeah, probably.
Nacho tots or whatever they call them, but it's tater tots. But then they make them like nachos.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that.
So good.
It's one of my favorite things.
Do tater tots get credit on National French Fry Day?
No.
No,
They're
they don't.
totally different.
Well, yeah, but they're the same.
Let me
They're
advocate.
fried potatoes.
I did say this. You love motivational posters. So there's this poster, and it's got like tater tots and French fries and hash browns and mashed potatoes. It says, if God can do all of this with a potato, imagine what he can do with you.
I don't know. Potatoes don't rebel. Human beings, we're not always very cooperative.
Us?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'll do anything you want,
We're
Kevin.
very compliant.
If you're recently retired or nearing retirement, you've got your work cut out for you. Between soaring inflation, stock market volatility, and the threat of higher taxes, saving and investing alone won't be enough. Learn how you could overcome today's toughest retirement challenges in a one-night adult education class called Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have saved at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. This is your opportunity to learn from decades of financial planning experience. Call 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
Guys, I want to talk to you man to man about erectile dysfunction and PE. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer custom blended medications that have men lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hi, this is Chad Clayman with Clayman Group, where we buy property direct and as-is condition with a flexible closing date. My phone number is 314-946-9999, and I'm here with Calvin to tell you a little bit more about how we buy property.
If you're looking for a simple, smooth, easy real estate transaction, contact the Clayman Group today.
KLAMEN
Group.com.
314-946-9999. 314-946-9999.
ClaymanGroup.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Here's another satisfied customer of 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, Anita Bennett.
When I first heard about 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, I thought, there's no way they could do a good job in 3 days, and they must carry only the plain Jane basics in cabinets, countertops, and flooring. Then they came to our house, and we found out they offered top quality materials with tons of choices and lots of custom options. They worked with us to design a bathroom that was perfect for our family. They looked at our needs and thought of details I hadn't even considered. The installation was clean, thorough, and professional, and they were done in just 3 days. When we got back from the hotel, I couldn't believe the difference. The bathroom is beautiful.
See us on the web at 3daykitchen.com.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a blue sky, sun's out, 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Today's Consumer Price Index report finds U.S. inflation reached 9.1% in June, a 40-year high.
The latest figures from the Bureau of Labor Statistics finds inflation rose 9.1% last month from a year ago, the biggest 12-month increase since 1981. That's up 1.3% from May and a bigger jump than many economists had forecast. U.S. job growth has been strong, but high prices for gas, food, and housing are outpacing incomes, putting a crunch on family budgets and hurting consumer confidence. Federal Reserve President James Bullard tells the AP that to cool inflation, another large increase in the key interest rate is likely.
If the meeting was today, I would support the 75 basis point move.
There are some indicators the economy is already slowing. Consumers have started to pull back on spending and factory output slipped in May. One good bit of news, gas prices have fallen from the eye-watering $5 a gallon reached in mid-June to a nationwide average of $4.66 as of Tuesday. Jennifer King, Washington.
Uvalde officials and families of the victims are blasting newly released footage of the school shooter walking in with his AR-15 while officers waited to go in.
The Uvalde mayor, city council, and some families were upset that the video wasn't first released privately to the victims' families as scheduled by state lawmakers on Sunday. Uvalde Mayor Don McLaughlin.
This has been the most unprofessional handled investigation that I've ever seen in my life.
DPS Director Colonel Steve McCraw said he was deeply disappointed by the release. He went on to call the video horrifying evidence that the law enforcement response to the attack at Robb Elementary on May 24th was an abject failure. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
Health officials are sounding the alarm about a fast-spreading coronavirus subvariant that is driving up cases in some areas. BA.5 is more contagious than other Omicron subvariants, even infecting people who are vaccinated and boosted. Dr. Rajesh Shah is the White House COVID-19 response coordinator.
Each time you get infected, so far it looks like the next one is less severe. So that's also good news. That said, these reinfections can still be pretty nasty. And so what I'm saying to folks is if you got infected in the past, do not assume that you're going to be immune going forward.
To annex or not to annex?
That is the question, as the city of Manchester is wanting to take in about 6,500 unincorporated St. Louis County residents into their city. County Executive Sam Page is against the idea.
Later this week, I will write a letter to the Boundary Commission in opposition to this proposal.
A proposal in which Manchester says new residents would benefit from better government services like trash, snow removal, and fighting crime. But Page says county police already do a fine job.
If the area is annexed, those living there would no longer have the St. Louis County Police Department for law enforcement. The average response time to call in the proposed annexed area is 1 minute and 45 seconds.
The proposal expands enough to make Town and Country into pair border towns for Manchester. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk. If you're going on vacation over the next couple of months, dig deep and don't expect anything extra for a good night's sleep.
Americans are traveling in droves this summer, and demand for hotels has surged despite a steep increase in prices. Average daily rates are up 17% over 2019. That makes what was a $103 room about $119 without taxes and fees. The Wall Street Journal blames it on high demand and operating costs up for things like labor and supplies. If you're hitting the road, don't expect anything more for all that money. A J.D. Power poll finds guest satisfaction down 11 points in the past year. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
And the Dow from Stifel's down 178 points to 30,803. Oh, we've got a crash on 270 south to Gravois going west. A stall 6440 west before Spady and 6440 west at Kings Highway. The left lane is closed.
We'll have a good deal of sunshine this afternoon with fairly low humidity, a high near 90. A clear sky tonight, low 72 downtown. It will still drop into the 60s in many suburbs. And mostly sunny, a hot day tomorrow, high 94. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got sun, 84 in Florissant, 86 in St. Peters, 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Visit Missouri. What makes for a great vacation depends on who you ask. No matter how you like to get away, Missouri is filled with beautiful destinations and incredible experiences for you to explore. Discover the possibilities at visitmo.com.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444.
It's 11:05 on the show on KMOX. Chris Raji, Amy Marscores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Continuing to track the things that we're hearing at the January 6th hearings yesterday. We got a preview of all of that with Scott McFarland from CBS News yesterday. Today, we're really happy to have Linda Kenyon on with us, also from CBS News, just to kind of give us a vibe of what was all going on yesterday. And Linda, I know there's a lot to take away. These are long hearings, and there's a lot that gets put out there. Was any one thing in particular yesterday noteworthy to you?
Well, there were a couple of things. One was I was most startled, if you will, by the opening and closing statements from Representative Liz Cheney. Very notable. Her opening statement was where she said that the president is a 76-year-old man. She was talking about the former president, Donald Trump. And she said he's not an impressionable child. Those are her words. And it's very, strong words to hear someone talk about a former president of the United States, or any president of the United States for that matter. And the other thing that she said that was very surprising is her closing statement, where she basically said that Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble, and flagged the Justice Department's attention, because she said that a witness who has yet to testify received a phone call from Donald Trump, and that the person did not accept the call, but instead contacted their lawyer. The lawyer contacted the committee. The committee contacted the Department of Justice, because this is the essence of witness tampering, which is a serious crime, and the Justice Department will take that quite seriously. So this was the first time that it was spoken of in such strong terms that the president could face some serious criminal charges if he is found to have been tampering with witnesses. And it is not the first time, by the way, that whole issue has been brought up. We heard it brought up before with the testimony of Cassidy Hutchinson, a former aide to the former White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, where she received some emails and text messages basically trying to dissuade her from testifying, or to say, in air quotes here, the right thing.
How fluid right now is the January 6th hearing schedule? And what I mean by that is, how many does the committee think they will need to present their evidence? And are they expecting perhaps more emergency hearings like the one they had with Cassidy Hutchinson?
Well, the word fluid is really apt in this respect, because we thought that we were not going to have as many hearings as we have had. But with each passing hearing, the members of the committee have said that they have gotten basically a flood of new information, more people coming forward, more people presenting information that needs to be processed. First, these witnesses would be deposed in closed hearing, and then possibly go to public open hearing, as each witness has been treated so far. And so, we were expecting 2 this week, where we only are having 1 because the information needs to be further processed. We're having another hearing next week, which will likely be a primetime hearing due to that new information. And who knows what's going to happen thereafter. As you say, it's a very fluid situation.
Linda, in the immediate aftermath, well, maybe it took a few hours after Cassidy Hutchinson had her testimony in the last hearing. It took a little bit of time, but there were people who pushed back against her testimony and said that they're willing to testify that the things she said she heard didn't actually happen, or weren't actually said in front of her. But Pat Cipollone, in his testimony, did not refute anything that she said. How important is that we did not hear any sort of, on his part, of him saying, no, all the stuff she was talking about didn't really happen?
That's very important, because Pat Cipollone was the White House counsel, and he was in the room. He was there to see all of these events unfold before, during, and after the riot on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol building. He had tried to persuade the former president that it was time to stop fighting and claiming voter fraud, and that the election was rigged. And all of those rallying cries that the president was sending out to his supporters, which led to what we saw on January 6th. The question is, can you draw connect the dots in such a way that the Department of Justice would take notice? By the way, the Department of Justice has probably one step or two steps, or who knows how many steps ahead of the committee. They've already done some investigations of their own. It is not a branch of the government per se that answers to Congress or to the White House. It's independent. It's supposed to be independent, and it is running a parallel investigation. But Pat Cipollone's comments were very, very important because he became known throughout the Trump White House as what has been called behind the scenes as Team Normal as opposed to Team Crazy. And Team Crazy was comprised of people like General Mike Flynn, Counsel Sidney Powell, the My Pillow guy, for example, all of these folks who were acting as outside advisors to the president. And Pat Cipollone called them on their advice and said they were not giving the president of the United States good advice, which he felt was very harmful. And he was trying to get the president not to do certain things like, for example, march to the Capitol building on January 6th. He said that would cause him to be charged with all manner of crimes. And so would it cause members of his team. So Cipollone was a very important witness for the January 6th committee. And as you rightly point out, he did not contradict anything that Cassidy Hutchinson had said.
As we see these new witnesses, members, high-ranking officials in the Trump administration come out and give their testimony, what role does fear versus fearing emboldened to tell your story play in this? And what I mean by is maybe the first few people to speak out against Trump, to testify what really happened, they feel they were afraid of repercussions, but they took that chance. And as more people have testified, others are emboldened to say, yes, this is how it really was.
I think it's true. I think a lot of people are becoming more emboldened, which is why the members of the January 6th committee have gotten such an onslaught of information as from the start of these hearings to the present day. But yes, there is still some concern. President Trump, the former president, has a very large following of very committed supporters, some of whom, as the committee has pointed out, were bound and determined to cause mayhem, and some who came armed to the Capitol that day. And the committee, during the hearing yesterday, played a montage of various postings in social media and YouTube from podcasts, etc. And the words that were being used by these folks were pretty militant. One person in particular, who was seen on the big screen yesterday in the hearings, said, "Why don't we just kill all of the Democrats?" And I don't think it was a statement that was meant in jest. It was very militant.
Now, you mentioned that kind of messaging, and I know part of yesterday's hearing had to do with Jason Van Tatenhove, who is formerly with the Oath Keepers. And I know these are all kind of things that are not at the moment linked, but it sounds like the direction here is trying to make the connection that some of these, that the Oath Keepers, maybe Proud Boys, were acting at least in some way in tandem with some people that worked with either the campaign or the White House. But we haven't really established that at this point, have we?
Well, there has been a certain establishment in the fact that we have a video, for example, of prominent members of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, even the leadership of those organizations, which are viewed as extremist groups. And Van Totenhove said that he considered them militant groups, which is why he left the organization. He said he couldn't do it anymore. They have been seen providing bodyguard services for close Trump associates, including Roger Stone and former General Michael Flynn. And there is testimony that they were in the room, if you will, helping to plan the events that unfolded on January 6th at the Capitol, that people have given testimony to that effect, that they were at the Willard Hotel, which is about a block, maybe a block and a half away from the White House, in what has been dubbed the War Room, where a lot of these discussions took place. So yeah, they are able to draw some lines to the two members of these organizations. By the way, the head of the Oath Keepers and the head of the Proud Boys have been indicted on charges of seditious conspiracy, which are pretty much as serious as it can get when it comes to efforts to, overthrow the federal government.
I'm sure by now you have heard the Steve Bannon audio, the leaked audio, where he, just a few days prior to the 2020 election, pretty much laid out what was going to happen if Trump was losing in the polls, or even if he was ahead, and how that was all going to play out. Does that audio change anything?
Well, he did say, as you know, there's going to be all HE double hockey sticks is going to break out. So, and he is on trial for starting next week on charges of criminal contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with a subpoena to testify before the January 6th committee. Interestingly enough, over the weekend, he said, maybe I will testify after all, and perhaps to change the calculus for him, because he had a pretrial hearing this week. It did not go well for Steve Bannon. He still has to go on trial next week, and he's still in, pretty big trouble, because each of those two counts of criminal conspiracy, of a criminal contempt of court, rather, carry a minimum of 30 days in jail. So he could, by the way, face up to 2 years behind bars. He says he didn't want to testify because he asserted executive privilege. And now it's kind of gotten all muddied up as to whether the president ever really exerted executive privilege so that Steve Bannon would not testify. Now he says he never exerted it in the first place, and then he says he does. So this is a big ball of wax, and it's starting to come apart.
Linda, thank you so much for all the information. We'll look forward to talking to you again soon. In the meantime, take care of yourself, and, of course, we'll look forward to that next opportunity.
That sounds great. You have a great day.
You do the same. That's Linda Kenyon from CBS News, congressional correspondent, also an anchor for CBS News as well. And I think, maybe not a blood relative, but certainly related to Amy, the HE double hockey sticks thing.
I really appreciated that.
You did?
I really appreciated the HE double hockey sticks. It's like having a wasp in your slacks.
Amy was like fist bump, like, yes, my people.
You are so weird.
I know.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman. Check out the only agents that I trust at thegelmanteam.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Soaring inflation, rising interest rates, stock market volatility, and higher taxes. How will these unprecedented challenges impact you and your retirement? Find out in a one-night adult education class, Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. In just 3 hours, you'll learn how to overcome the unprecedented challenges facing the next wave of retirees. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. Learn from a fiduciary advisor with decades of financial planning experience. Register now by calling 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
This is a call to the self-starters, to the self-made, and the self-sufficient. It's time to declare a new kind of independence, because Edelman Financial Engines is here to provide tailored investment solutions for your kind of wealthy. You should expect more from your wealth advisors. Our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research, and our planners don't sell products to earn commissions. And because we're here for those who question the answers, we model more than 38,000 securities so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. So no matter where you're going next, see what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines, built for those who built themselves.
Live and local, this is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
11:22 on the show. Chris Raji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you. Amy, you got to stop eating so you can tell your story.
I know.
You're
done.
the one that's like, I got a story.
What is you ate during an entire segment yesterday?
No.
Yes, you
Our
did.
boss is listening. I
That is
did not.
Yeah, you did.
I'm hungry all
Like,
the
oh,
time.
I'm having these apples.
Well, speaking of food, I have a good news story because so
All right.
much of the news is super depressing. So Red Lobster, right, known for its seafood dinners. This week, there was a Red Lobster in Hollywood, Florida, and the team there, they were unloading their shipments of lobster, and they found a 1 in 30 million crustacean. And that is a lobster that is this bright orangey yellow color, like super bright. Most lobsters are kind of like that darker, deeper red hue. So apparently they named him Cheddar. And
And put him on a biscuit?
the manager at Red Lobster in Florida said this: sometimes ordinary miracles happen, and Cheddar is one of them. So they saved Cheddar. They said, we got to get Cheddar to some people at an aquarium or something like that, because they recognize that it's a 1 in 30 million lobster, because these lobsters can't survive in the wild because they're so bright. They're easy to pick out. So they often don't survive.
Well, a regular lobster is like dark, not red.
They're
Not until you cook it.
Well, like that
and that's when they're
dark-
delicious.
That dark color,
right?
Not bright red, but this
Oh.
is a bright orange.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what makes this so special.
So we don't know how it tastes.
No, because they
'Cause they
saved
didn't eat
Cheddar.
it.
I'm sure somebody has eaten one.
So
at some
here's what
point.
most lobsters are mainly browns and grays with undertones of red.
314-436-7900. If you have eaten one of these lobsters, I would like to know if it's good.
The orange one?
Yeah, the orange one.
Have you seen the rainbow lobsters? There are like pearlescent rainbow
Maybe.
lobsters. You would eat one of those? They're 1 in 30 million, Ranj.
Mm.
Give the guy a break, or the girl.
Just,
Cheddar's a girl.
Can't you just breed more of them if you wanted? Find another one.
Mhm.
Find another one in a 30 million. Have them get together and breed. Can you breed a lobster?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, but like, you have two parents that are redheads like me, and the kid may not be
Well,
redhead.
that's true, I guess.
Doesn't mean it's automatically.
I don't know
gonna
how
go that way.
I don't know how lobster genetics work.
Is
That's
it-
why I'm asking these
Shocking.
questions.
I'm
so
shocked.
Cheddar, I thought Cheddar was named because of her color,
The
but
cheddar biscuits.
yeah, they named her after the Cheddar biscuit.
Yeah.
Do you go to Red Lobster a lot?
No, but I know about the cheddar biscuits.
I didn't know about the Cheddar biscuits.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't know that? That's why I made that joke.
What joke did you make?
You said they named him Cheddar, and I said, and they put him on a biscuit.
Oh.
They have cheddar biscuits.
No,
like
I
their
thought you
famous
just
thing.
made that joke because they eat lobsters at Red Lobster.
Well, it's both. That's kind of the whole point. Like,
I
it
didn't
was
know
a
about the cheddar biscuits.
double layered joke that nobody laughed at. But okay.
Cheddar biscuits are delicious.
They're amazing.
They're very, very
You can
good.
also buy them at the grocery store and make them at home.
You can?
Yes. They have boxes of them. It's
I've
pretty good.
seen-
Is it Red Lobster brand?
Yes.
Yeah, I've it would have to be. I've seen recipes online how to make them. I've never done it. But one time, actually the last time I went to Red Lobster, I think it was it was probably 2 years ago, did carry out, and they gave us extra cheddar biscuits for
Really?
free. Do you have any idea what a score that is?
Mm-mm.
I mean, Amy, if you had a treasure map
Uh-huh.
and there was an X on the map and you started digging and the treasure was actually there, same thing.
Mhm.
Same exact thing to get extra cheddar biscuits.
I believe it. I believe it.
They're so great.
Have you ever been able to recreate a famous restaurant dish?
No.
Yes.
Of course, Kevin has.
Of course.
No.
Which one have you recreated?
Well, I don't know if it would be renowned, but one that I liked.
Okay.
It was the macadamia crusted mahi mahi. It was pretty amazing.
From where?
I don't remember.
Red
I just
Lobster?
remember I had it somewhere. No, they don't. Yeah, no, not there. I was in Florida somewhere.
Do you guys remember the restaurant? What was it called? Is it Casey Barbecue? It was by
Casey
Chesterfield.
Masterpiece.
Casey Masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yes. They had Doc's Dip, which was a spinach cream cheese dip. And our family probably worked on years trying to recreate Doc's Dip because Casey Masterpiece is no longer there. I get there might be one somewhere, but I don't think it's St. Louis.
I bet it's in KC.
You think so?
Do you guys think that the legends of when people started eating lobsters are true? Did you hear you ever hear
About
this?
the prisoners.
Right, like the prisoners. It was like
Yeah.
the prisoners in an island in France, and they were like, "These are the terrible things. We're going to feed them these cockroaches from the water."
Yeah,
and it was a way of giving them terrible food.
Mhm.
And eventually, they were like, everybody realized, wait a minute, these are pretty good.
They taste great.
Not gonna lie though.
Originally, it was like considered a punishment.
Yeah. You wouldn't look at lobster and go, this is going to be as delicious as a
My
fillet.
God,
it tastes so
As
good.
Jim Gaffigan says, they're bugs. They're sea bugs,
They are sea bugs.
but they taste so good.
I will eat the sea bug to death. Give me a sea bug. Give me all the sea bugs.
And you may find yourself in another part of the world. And you may find yourself behind the
It's always great Cardinals conversation with Kevin, Amy, and Chris on the show.
The trade deadline is August 2nd.
What would have to happen over the next couple of weeks where you think they're going to do something?
That's a great question because it usually happens in December for them.
And I'll tell you what would probably be the case is the right deal being there. Because that's what they're about, right? They're not about, we need a pitcher, we're going to go pay whatever it takes. If somebody's in our price range, we are going to pull the trigger.
The show, weekdays 10 till 2 on KMOX.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
At 11:30, it's sunny and 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. The Consumer Price Index soared in June 9.1% from a year ago, according to a government report released today. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says a key reason is a rise in the cost of housing.
The 5.6% annual increase in shelter is well above the 3.5% increase we saw annually between 2015 and 2019.
The CPI is a broad measure of the cost of everyday goods and services. In remarks after arriving in Israel, President Biden says he's seeking a few things on his first Mideast trip since taking office.
Greater peace, greater stability, greater connection. It's critical. It's critical, if I might add, for all the people of the region.
We've got a crash 270 south to Gravois West, a stall 64 west to Kings Highway in the left lane, debris 55 south before Route M. The right lane's been closed. Weather is sponsored by Reinhold Flooring, and today have fairly low humidity with a high of 90. Overnight tonight, low 72, dropping into the 60s in some outlying areas. And for tomorrow, sunny and hot with a high of 94. Reinhold Flooring offers an extensive portfolio of resilient flooring products, including Armstrong and Shaw, developed to provide exceptional design, durability, and value. Start your next project by scheduling a free in-home measuring consultation at reinholdflooring.com. It's sunny and 85 degrees. It feels like 87 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. St. Louis City SC's all-new Centene Stadium is the site of this year's Biz Dash, and participants will get a chance to see it up close. With music, food, drinks, and more, the Biz Dash is the ultimate office party. Thursday, September 22nd at Centene Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
Scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
It's the Cards and Dodgers tonight. Ameren pregame show 5:50. First pitch 6:45 on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
Wednesday on the show here on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. We'll have our Redbird report with John Rooney coming up in an hour. So we'll get the latest on the Cardinals coming off 6-5 win last night. Pretty exciting game. A lot going on there. We'll get more into those details in just a little bit. Obviously, we've got a few other topics we're going to save for later on. We will do a few other baseball things later. I do want to point out there was a report from Frank Saravalli, who covers the National Hockey League for Daily Faceoff. Does some work for Bally Sports as well, but he's well-known, well-established hockey reporter. Says he's hearing that the Blues have a 4-year deal in place to keep defenseman Nick Leddy. So we've been talking about the Blues and the need to shore up the blue line, and they traded for Nick Leddy this year. Now, keep in mind, Leddy is obviously a guy that has plenty of playoff experience, won cups with the Blackhawks. He's later in his career, so he's not going to be a high salary guy, what you wouldn't think. Interesting that it's a 4-year deal. But we'll see if that ends up being reported officially. They did announce an 8-year deal with Robert Thomas earlier, $65 million, 8 years for the 23-year-old forward. So just a couple of things to get you there, and we'll talk more about both of those things in just a little bit. Next, I don't know about you guys, and Amy, you and I talked about it. Ron, I think you were off for a second. I think you were seeking better internet connection when we were talking about
I
this.
found it too.
Yeah, you did.
But I'm not going to tell you where my secret spot is. I don't want you.
It was out in the common area, but we were talking about the video that was released of the hallways of the Uvalde shooting, and there's nothing in they edited out the sounds of the kids screaming, so you don't hear that. That you don't see anything inside the classrooms or anything like that. But even without those things, it's disturbing and it's really hard to watch because you're hearing the gunshots. And
I mean, you hear the door, you hear the footsteps, you hear the gunshots. They quite literally took out the sounds of the children screaming.
Right. And I understand why. And we're going to kind of talk about the whys and hows of that part as we go through the segment. But it was, and I do not like, in general, to second guess people with difficult jobs when you're reacting in real time. This is a significant exception to that rule that I put on myself, because watching them stand there and watching a guy get hand sanitizer while they're waiting outside the classroom, watching them
look on their phones
and sit back and wait while the clock is ticking, while gunfire is happening. And you can see in the video, they had body armor. The guys that showed up 3 minutes after the guy entered the school were wearing body armor and were armed with rifles. They were not there just like, oh no, I don't have anything. What do I do? They were prepared. They were there with what you would normally have in that scenario. The ballistic shields were there. What was it, like 7 minutes into the video? And yet they didn't kill the suspect until 77 minutes into the video. And I can see why they fought to keep that from being released, because it's horrible.
It looks
to look at. And those
really
officers
bad.
really, those particular, not talking about officers in general, those particular officers should be ashamed.
And I don't know how you live with yourself if you are one of those guys. And especially if you're somebody who I would guarantee there were at least a handful of them in that hallway thinking to themselves, why aren't we going? We need to go. We need to go down there right now. I want to disobey orders and I want to go down there. Then just go.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're still at fault. But I promise there were some officers there who were thinking we can't just be standing here. But the visual of, well, first of all, the audio part of it, to hear the gunshots, and they are very loud. And and I know there's echoing in hallways, and sometimes sounds can sound louder than they actually are, but it sounds like a very high-powered weapon.
You're literally 50 feet from where somebody's firing off an AR-15. I mean, it's loud.
But then to have the visual of guys who have their weapons drawn, pointed down the hallway, and then have others who are like you mentioned, the hand sanitizer. There's the hand sanitizer dispenser on the wall. He goes up to it and gets himself a squirt of sanitizer. And then there's another guy.
Really important in that moment,
right? And there's another guy who's looking at his phone, and I don't know what he's looking for on his phone. Maybe he's looking for orders. I don't know what he's doing, but he's holding a phone, and his screensaver is the Punisher logo. You know, the skull logo that a lot of people like to, associate with themselves as being tough guys. Here's this tough guy with his Punisher logo on his phone, and he's just standing there while kids are getting slaughtered.
And what's interesting,
disgusting
too, is Arredondo, who is running the Uvalde Police Department, has taken a lot of blame for restraining officers, and rightfully so. But this video shows multiple responding agencies.
That's right.
So it's not just his. Yes,
it's the Uvalde Police Department, the Uvalde County Sheriff's Department, the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Rangers, U.S. Border Patrol, and U.S. Marshal Service. So again, it's not just that one department didn't follow its own training to move forward with an active shooter. It was multiple departments, multiple points of failure. And I will say this about the video, because we've talked so much about this school shooter. We talked about the carnage and what that high capacity weapon does to little bodies and how it destroys them beyond recognition. And I will say this, just seeing the gunman open the door and walk up and down the hallways with his weapons And knowing what was about to happen, I had, just being completely honest, I had an unexpected like physical response where I started to feel like very ill. And it was incredibly upsetting. You know it's going to be upsetting. I was not prepared for how upsetting that video was. And guys, that was just seeing him walk up and down the hallways.
Kind of casually too.
Kind of casually. And,
Yeah.
and again, they edited out the children, the audio of the children screaming. I could not get through the video because it was so profoundly upsetting. And here's the thing. That's what our leaders need to see. That's what every mayor, every governor, every
Unedited.
congressperson, unedited with, I'm not trying to be grotesque here, but they need to know the truth. You can't sanitize it for the ears of our leaders. I think we can talk about this, like the argument that maybe the screams, it's just awful to say it, that they could be edited out for the public consumption. But if you are a mayor, you are a governor, you are in the House, the Senate, the president, and I even think maybe even leading, members of media should have restricted access to it. You need to see that and hear that unedited.
We talked about this with we talked about actually at the time with Uvalde. We were talking about what's going to change people's minds. And in the past, the things that have gotten the most action, that have led to the most dramatic changes, have been when we see it.
Mm-hmm.
It was 9/11. We watched it happen. We watched people jumping from the buildings.
And
we watched those buildings
Those
fall.
photos were controversial,
Yeah.
and yet they knew we have to show this. And those, I'll never forget the images of the people. The tiny silhouettes in the sky. You cannot ever forget that.
This is a longer time ago, but it was the same thing with Vietnam. People didn't turn against the war the public didn't. Certain parts of the public were against the war all along, but the general public didn't turn against it until we started seeing the pictures. And so we started seeing not just dead soldiers, which was horrible enough, but also civilians that were killed, including children. And the more that came back, the more people's taste for it turned, and we got out. It led to a dramatic change in policy. And I don't know, maybe some of these people that we're talking about have seen the type of footage that we're talking about. We know that the police officers do. We know that the paramedics do. We know that, people that show up on the scene, that the first responders do see these things. They see them probably more often than any of us could ever want to, or ever, could ever even imagine how often they have to see these terrible things. But it's not leading to any kind of change. And I hate to think that it might be necessary, but I think it's worth asking the question, because otherwise we just keep spinning our wheels and doing the same thing.
Well, public support for better gun measures is there. The general public wants it. It is popular among people largely around the country. This is not really, that part is not really a debate, but it does end up being down to certain senators who are taking money from gun lobbies, gun lobby groups, which is why they don't vote in line with what the public wants. And there are still a lot of people out there who think there should be no restrictions whatsoever. It's my right. I can do whatever I want. But the reality is most people don't agree with that. They think there should be something more restrictive on the books for this nationwide, not state to state, because state by state doesn't solve the problem. It needs to be nationwide, because you could travel to different states and buy a gun and bring it back, which is what happens in Illinois a lot. Didn't happen with the Highland Park case. That guy bought it in the state of Illinois legally and then used it to murder people at a 4th of July parade. But I do believe that at least the senators, and let's be honest, it is the Senate where the stricter gun laws are getting held up for the most part, at least right now. Those senators, all 100 of them, should have to watch that video, the entire thing, and they should have to hear the children screaming.
Yeah.
They should have to hear it. And then make them go vote against gun measures after hearing that stuff.
I mean, and again, I would go even further. I think it's the Senate.
The House,
I think
too.
it's the House, but I also think the legislatures of all 50 states. Also, if you are in Jefferson
Well, I'd
City,
agree with that.
You are not following the responsibility and the truth of your position of leadership if you are not watching this video, knowing what's going on. And I will say this, a couple of different angles. The Washington Post has a really good piece that looks at whether or not you should, quote, show the bodies. And this, I know, Ranj, on the 4th of July, right as our show was ending, you were following Lynn Sweet of the Chicago Sun-Times. She happened to be right there taking pictures. And she thought, they were looking at different images that they had and what would actually be used in the newspaper. And the Chicago Sun-Times published ultimately just one of her graphic photos, but it was not in the print. It was on the online version of the newspaper, and it was behind a blurred image that said click here because it's graphic. Whereas, NPR, other newspapers have said, well, we want to respect the families. And I understand that.
I get that too.
For sure. And I think it's a really difficult discussion because, again, this Washington Post piece talks to a lot of people in the academia as well as in journalism, saying it's a really tough call.
But I do wonder if the general public, if they had to hear those screams, would then put even more pressure on the people. And I don't know if it's the right thing.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's the right thing for the public to hear that. But if they did, I'd imagine the groundswell of demands for something to be done seriously would grow even larger. It would have to.
If you're recently retired or nearing retirement, you've got your work cut out for you. Between soaring inflation, stock market volatility, and the threat of higher taxes, saving and investing alone won't be enough. Learn how you could overcome today's toughest retirement challenges in a one-night adult education class called Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have saved at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. This is your opportunity to learn from decades of financial planning experience. Call 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight. Or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Biden and the radical left that controls Congress broke the national bank. They unleashed the inflation monster, which broke into our homes and smashed our family piggy banks. Bidenflation now costs you $460 more every month. It's a Biden failure tax that hits the poor and middle class hardest. Our Congressman, Blaine Luetkemeyer, is fighting to fix what Biden broke.
We can get America back on track. First, we have to stop Biden's runaway spending of money we don't have to bring down inflation. We have to end Biden's war on American energy and return to energy independence. That will bring down gas prices and we build that wall and re-secure the border.
Our Congressman, Blaine Luetkemeyer, is fighting to fix what Biden broke. Blaine Luetkemeyer is one of us, leading for us.
I'm Blaine Luetkemeyer, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Blaine for Congress.
Call Zero Res today and ask for the DGS special. This month, Zero Res of STL is offering a 3-room special starting at just $119 and $75 off air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
Learn to swim this summer and stay cool with Swim On Foundation through group and private lessons. Schedule today. For information, go to swimonfoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Chris Ranji.
Wonderful bones, great eyes, and you dress really interesting.
On the show.
All right, if you ever want to jump in on the show, you are welcome to 314-436-7900 for the text line, 944-1120. That's also 314-944-1120 for the voicemails. As I mentioned, we've got the Redbird Report coming up at 12:30 with John Rooney, and obviously a whole lot more coming up in the final 2 hours. We did want to follow up. We got a text in the last segment responding to the conversation about Uvalde and the lack of substantive change throughout these, 30 years of mass shootings, school shootings, workplace shootings, you name it. There are all kinds of them, but we tend to kind of lump them all together with mass shootings. And we had a texter who said, to use your words, you idiots, it's not the guns. And if I don't know what words we said, but whatever.
Maybe you idiots. I think that's what he's getting at.
The point is simply that it's the argument that it is not the guns. And if we're accepting that as a logical way of looking at it, well, then it's not the heroin. It's the people that take heroin. It's the people that sell it. It's not the drug. The drug shouldn't be illegal. The drug's an inanimate object. It's not. The drug is not doing these things. It's the people doing these things. But we don't treat it that way. And this is not to address you can't mix this up with the Second Amendment because that's not the same argument. If your argument is Second Amendment allows us to have these things, then the argument to that is separate. And that argument would be, yes, but all of our freedoms, all of these things enumerated come with restrictions. Free speech is not totally free. There are things you cannot say.
Then there should be no restrictions on alcohol.
And I
alcohol shouldn't have an age limit because it's not the alcohol, it's the person.
And I think the problem with the arguments is that we all, I'll include everybody, but we all kind of start with what our position is on it, and we try to construct the argument around that, as opposed to just saying, all right, can we be consistent? If we're saying that this is an inanimate object, it's just a tool, and it's not that object that's the problem, it's the person. Well, then we wouldn't need to regulate. We wouldn't have to
anything. You don't have to regulate.
We wouldn't have to have traffic laws. It's not the speed limit. It's the driver.
No regulations of any kind if they don't work, and if it doesn't matter, if it's not about the regulations, not about the tools, it's only about the people who use them. Okay, no regulations.
And here's the thing. I think because we hear that statement a lot, it's not the guns, it's the people, that type of thing. And that type of argument operates from two false dichotomies, probably more than that, but these are the two false dichotomies that stick out to me immediately. One, that it's either only guns or only people, meaning the blame lies only with guns or only with people. And two, that you either have unfettered access to guns or you have zero access to guns. Neither of those dichotomies are true.
Right.
So much of the American experiment and our freedoms is contingent on how much freedom can we allow and still be it for the benefit, right, of the public good. Here's our individual freedoms, but we understand at some point, like you mentioned, the limits on the First Amendment. Of course, it's a freedom, but there are some limitations. You can't call for immediate and imminent violence against someone else. That's not your right to do that. We already know there are some limitations that already exist on the weaponry that we can have.
Right.
We all know that. So there's certain types of weapons that we have to look at and say, okay, right now, these are weapons that are causing more harm than good. And also, there are people making bad decisions. It's the combo.
It is, yeah.
It's never just the guns, just the people, and it's either all access or no access.
So
it's in the middle on both of those.
The people who are making the bad decisions make them for various reasons. Sometimes there's an ideology. Sometimes there's an extremist view in their minds, like was the deal with the Highland Park shooter. Sometimes it is mental illness, but it isn't always mental illness.
Sometimes
and there are a lot
anger.
of people, sometimes it's just anger. And I don't ever want to say it's because of mental illness, because there are a lot of mentally ill people who don't resort to that.
The vast
So it's-
majority.
yeah,
exactly.
It's almost all of them. Let's
Right.
just put it that way. It's almost all of them who don't do that. So how do we as a society make it safer for the rest of us? Let's not let them have those weapons.
Well,
Don't make it easy for them to go carry out what they want to carry out. This conversation should not be a conversation today. We should be talking about Uvalde today, because that idiot who went into that school shouldn't have had that weapon in the first place.
And the point that Amy made, and the point that you're getting to, Ron, these things are the important nuances. It is not a black or white issue. It is not everybody's trying to ban guns. No, that's not the point.
Yeah.
It's saying, are these particular weapons too dangerous to be available to the general public as easily as they are available now? That really is the key point.
Yeah.
It's not so much that we want to ban this or say nobody can have guns at all. It is, are these types of weapons, are they does their usefulness outweigh the risk when it comes to how easily they can be acquired?
And what you're describing is all of America, which is looking at that tension, right, between liberty and virtue, the tension of where do we draw the line? That's what we have to decide as a community.
Bottom line, and I think that's the point in all of it, is it is not either or, it is not all or nothing. There are shades of gray, and we have to try to stay inside the lines.
The Wall Street Journal reported that home equity is at record levels. And while home values continue to soar, rising interest rates make it harder than ever to unlock equity. But what if you could cash out your home's equity right now while it's still sky high and not have to move? You can with Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. Best of all, you get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. Let's review. Truehold pays your home's full value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of, like travel or pay off debt. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 1-855-300-9993. 1-855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. How long have you had sharp pain in your heel or that burning sensation on the bottom of your feet? Do you want to lose weight and exercise, but cannot because of foot, ankle, or low back pain? Many people come to the Good Feet store talking about these same issues. The Good Feet store has helped thousands of customers.
The pain in my foot was so bad I could not walk around for any length of time. I walked in the Good Feet store in pain, and I walked out pain-free.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief to fit any budget. No shots, no surgery, no medication. Come in for a free test walk today.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
This is KMOX, the trusted voice of St. Louis. An Odyssey station.
Man, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or PE, experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. To help you last longer in the bedroom, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications with men lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. See results on first visit guaranteed or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
The Stages St. Louis season continues July 22nd with the Stages premiere of In the Heights. From the creator of Hamilton, you don't want to miss this Tony Award-winning story of family, community, and the importance of a dream. Join us for this fiery musical July 22nd through August 21st in the Ross Family Theater at the Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. 2-show subscriptions and single tickets for Stages 2022 season are on sale now at stagesstlewis.org or call 314-821-2407. It's Stages St. Louis.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, we've got sun and 86 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, a growing gun control protest outside the U.S. Capitol today with families of recent victims there. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott McFarland is also there.
Here on the north front of the Capitol, Uvalde, Texas, and Highland Park, Illinois families have gathered for a gun control rally. Hundreds of people, many of them wearing orange shirts. At the podium, they're calling for a federal assault weapons ban, but they're doing so outside a U.S. Capitol, where Congress just recently mustered a much more incremental change to gun control law, expanding some background checks.
The House is expected to vote on the bill later today. It will then go to the Senate for a vote. CBS News correspondent Jim Krasula reports on the release of school surveillance video from the Texas school shooting.
We warn you, the footage and audio from the security video from inside Robb Elementary School is disturbing. Members of the Uvalde victims' families, including Jesse Reza, were angered the Austin American-Statesman newspaper released the video before they got to see it.
I'm happy that it's released, but I think they should have waited until the family members got to see it beforehand.
The entire 77-minute video without any sound will be shown privately to the families of the school shooting victims Sunday. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
President Biden received tough economic news just as he arrived in Israel. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Magani has that.
Inflation hit a new 4-decade high last month of 9.1%. Surging prices are playing a big role in the president's low approval ratings. In a statement issued from Tel Aviv, he calls the inflation reading unacceptably high, but also out of date. He notes energy prices made up nearly half the increase, and the inflation report did not fully factor in nearly a month's worth of falling gas prices.
Sam Page outright opposes Manchester's proposal to annex a portion of St. Louis County into their municipality.
For the city of Manchester to provide the same level of services to those in the unincorporated area, that will mean more costs to those living in Manchester and the area under consideration for annexation.
Manchester, which last annexed about 8,800 residents back in 1999, wants to bring in about 6,500 this time, including county-managed Love Park. County Executive Page says the city can't offer any guarantees that, quote, their services will be as good as what they have now from the county. The First Mid-Bank and Trust business desk, Starbucks, pulling back.
Starbucks is closing 16 stores around the country because of repeated safety issues, including drug use and other behaviors that threaten staff. The company says the closures are part of a larger effort to respond to staff concerns and to make sure stores are safe. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Most of those stores are in Seattle and Los Angeles, none here. St. Louis-based Drury Hotels has been ranked highest in guest satisfaction by J.D. Power for the 17th year in a row for mid-scale hotel chains. The honor sets a record for the most consecutive wins in the J.D. Power travel and hospitality category. And the Dow from Stifel is down 26 points to 30,954. We've got a stall on 64 East before 270 on the right shoulder and 6440 West at Kings Highway. The left lane closed. And the weather.
Mostly sunny this afternoon, not that humid with a high close to 90. Cleared tonight, low 72 downtown. It'll still get into the 60s in many suburbs. Hot and a little more humid tomorrow with sunshine, high 94. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Right now, fluorescent, sun 86, and it feels like 88. In St. Peter's, sun 87, it feels like 89. And downtown at the Arch, mostly sunny, 86 degrees, it feels like 88. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
12:04 on the show here on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. We have been all over the place so far on the show. And by the way, we've got good reaction coming in on the text line. I think we can mix some of that in here as we
And
go
some
along.
bad reaction.
No, I mean good reaction.
Some are
in
bad,
that-
Kevin.
in
It's
that-
okay.
Isn't that a Madonna album? Bad Reaction?
Is it?
No.
Oh,
Sounds like it, doesn't it? An 80s album? Come on, guys.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I don't like is when I say something and both of you just lose the will to live. You just kind of fall out of the chair.
I wasn't sure how to respond to that.
Doesn't it sound? Stop looking at me. Let's move on,
All
Kevin.
right. So what I was going to say, and by good reaction, Ranji, I meant volume. Some of it thoughtful, some of it kind of the same arguments that we've had over and over and over again. And again, it's about the nuance of the argument when we're talking about guns. It's not an either or. It's not all or nothing. It is being more specific, right? And we were discussing with a texter on it's 314-436-7900. And of course, voicemail is 314-944-1120. And we were discussing just the idea that the way it was presented to us was you can't legislate against the Constitution. And I would say, well, we already have. And it's not against it. My position is not that it's against it. It actually is in tandem with it, right? Yep. We have the First and Second Amendments, but we have restrictions on those based on how our freedom impacts the freedom of other people.
That's
exactly where the line is. My freedom is great, but I'm only free to the point that my freedom doesn't infringe on yours.
Yes. And what's so interesting too, most people who will throw out it's a constitutional right, it's the Second Amendment. We agree that is very important. Yes, it is the Second Amendment, but I don't think they understand necessarily sometimes the history of these amendments and how they're not completely unfettered. And the founding fathers, who quite literally penned the First Amendment, actually exercised less freedom of speech than we have right now. If you look back at some of the way what could be penalized, what kind of speech was criminalized back in the late 18th century, early 19th century, you will see that we have far more freedom of speech now. So this slippery slope argument is not valid in this case. We already have some limitations on the Second Amendment, and as weaponry continues to evolve and advance, it makes sense that you would have increasing limitations, but it's still not stopping you completely from buying a gun, and it's not the same as a buyback, all of those things.
There's no chance that founding fathers, the people who put that wrote these amendments, wrote the Constitution, if they were able to think ahead to the kinds of weaponry you're able to get that's available to you, there's no chance on earth they'd be like, yep, that stuff too, you can have all those things, without it being regulated in any way whatsoever. There's just
we
no
don't know
chance.
that, but it's a fair assumption.
I mean, come on.
It's a fair
you know,
assumption.
it is, but let's be serious here. We know that they would not want that to be completely unfettered in any way.
Yeah, to Ranji's point, because I've heard a lot of people say the founding fathers could never have imagined.
The weapons used to be issued to you to be
Well,
part of the militia.
yes,
That's
but-
what they were talking about then.
Well, in that specific instance, because they weren't saying only, because obviously people used guns for hunting.
Yeah,
and
it was
for
how you
food.
fed yourself a
Yeah.
lot of times back then.
So what I'm saying is the idea of making it harder to get guns, where if you're still a law-abiding citizen, you can get certain types of guns. That is not antithetical to the Constitution, because I actually think the founding fathers, being the geniuses that they were, they probably did anticipate advancements in weaponry. And just as the way, like, they couldn't have anticipated the atrocities committed by communist governments, right? Back in the 18th century, they wouldn't have known that, but they knew certain things were important. I think they probably anticipated advancements in weaponry, but never expected the Second Amendment to mean you can have everything, anything and everything. They absolutely knew that their citizens would not be having military grade weapons or weapons that could that had the power to take down great numbers of people all at once. I don't. That's not
That wasn't the
antithetical to
intent.
the Constitution.
No, it wasn't the intent.
Yeah, and I think that's where we get caught up on it. Is I think that anytime that something requires detail and nuance,
distinctions,
right.
meaningful distinctions are necessary.
That's
to
where
serious
it gets
conversation.
messy, because
Yeah.
there's always, I don't know if it's sometimes intentional, sometimes unintentional misreading of intent, right? The idea that if you want to restrict the sale of AR-15s and make it harder to get, so that we're making it more likely, we can never be 100%, but we can make it more likely that only law-abiding citizens end up with those, that's kind of the thing we're talking about. We're not talking about, hey, take them all and burn them and get rid of them and nobody can have them. That is not the discussion.
I keep going back, and this is to your point, Wheels, to Sudafed, because we are able to track how much Sudafed people are buying, because we know if you go in 3 or 4 days in a row to buy Sudafed, you could be using it for malicious purposes. That's
meth.
exactly right.
Yeah.
So why any law-abiding citizen would be opposed to saying, you know what, we should have red flags if you go back 3-4 days in a row to buy high-capacity weapons and Kevlar and high numbers rounds of ammunition. That should be a red flag.
Well, the people who are pushing back against what we are saying via the text line, they are in the minority. The majority of people in this country do not agree with them. The majority of people in this country do agree there should be restrictions on weapons like that, and that it should be harder to get them. That it shouldn't just be once I turn 19, I can go, or 18, I can go, or 21, whatever the number is now, that I could walk right into a store and it'll take me a couple of days and I got this weapon and I can go use it to shoot up a parade if I want to.
I mean, it seems easy to say you should have to show some competency, right? I mean, with other things that we get licenses for, there are tests for competency. You are evaluated on your use when you're and I know a lot of people hate the analogy. It comes up a lot because you have to go through all of the steps to get a driver's license, because when you're on the road, you are a danger to other people if you don't know what you're doing, right? And if you're not capable of handling the automobile, you can't get a license because you're dangerous. And that's the idea here. We just want to make sure that the people that have them are the ones that are not dangerous to other people.
But see, I would even push back, and this is semantics, but if I were making the argument, not so much competency as are you willing to, follow the rules, because these would be red flag alerts that you are going to abuse a right versus you have to show proficiency. Some of this kind of goes back to that New York law, the Supreme Court in the law regarding showing that you have an actual need to have a gun in New York to conceal carry. And they were saying that doesn't necessarily pass constitutional muster because it's proving like, well, I have a reason to have free speech, or I have a reason to need a gun. You don't have to prove your reason for the First and Second Amendment. So it's less to me about competency and more about putting restrictions that slow the process down a bit, put red flags on people who are abusing that right for malicious purposes, for violent intent, and making sure that we understand that as weapons evolve, our understanding of limitations on the Second Amendment must also evolve.
Let me throw a couple of these texts in here. We got a few that are they're mostly all over the place, but and I mean by like on kind of supporting our argument, also some arguing against, but one of them says, look, I have no problem with showing my driver's license, telling the gun store owner where I live when I buy a gun. And he went on to list that, that he had a certain choice of gun that he likes. He only shoots clay pigeons. You can look it up. Again, I think most people, that's how they want to use these. They want to use them or they want to have them in case, right? Just in case. And again, fine. You know what? You got no red flags. You got nothing in your history that says you're a danger. Beautiful.
I know female reporters who live alone and work in really dangerous situations, and these guys know their names. I have no problem with them having a gun for self-defense.
And I think that this is another one that was interesting. Just a short one. It says that what a lot of this sounds like to an extreme, someone with an more extreme view is blah, blah, take guns, blah, blah, which I agree. I think that's how it comes across, which is why we're repeating over and over again.
We literally had a texter who said blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Literally had one like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. And I think that person's point is right, that's how it sounds, which, by the way, is why you keep talking, because that's not the message.
Right.
Sometimes you have to repeat something. And I don't mean this. I mean, like, it has to happen to me. Amy has to repeat things to me in an argument a million times before I might get it. I mean, like, people, when you're arguing, you don't always become defensive, but you get locked into what you're trying to argue. And sometimes it takes time for another viewpoint to come around and make some sense. And it doesn't happen usually in the middle of an argument because you're heated, because you're going and you're defending a position. Yeah. It's later on you might come to the realization, like, okay, maybe there's a point there, and I want to think about that more.
It's like when you have arguments like this, to your point, Wheels, and the meaningful distinctions and the ability to understand where someone else is coming from, it takes emotional maturity. It takes confidence in your position where you can understand that, hey, I don't feel attacked if someone disagrees with me. It's confidence in your position. It takes a certain level of critical thinking. And I'm not sure that those are popular qualities right now when we have these heated discussions, because it does take an element of humility, and you have to keep your mind open. Go, is there a point here that I'm missing? And also confidence, because a lot of people, I think, when they don't really know what they believe, they just get very defensive and go, oh, yeah, well, you're an idiot.
Well, there is a texter who says, and this was the same as the blah, blah, blah texter, who says, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. So really difficult to argue with that. I don't know how to come back to that.
Here's the thing, and the problem there is simply what that person is saying
is what you're talking about. They're locked in. They're not actually listening.
What they're saying is, I disagree with you, therefore you're stupid.
Yeah. Well, then tell me why you disagree and give me explicit reasons why you are correct. If you have a disagreement, I am fine with that, but I want you to lay out an actual good argument as to why we are wrong about this.
One more in the 314 says the point here is, what is a red flag? Where does it stop? Does the DWI count? And I think those are the good points of discussion. We don't have those answers at the moment, but that's what we got to talk about, though.
Yes, but we do have some.
But if you do have domestic violence issues and violent tendencies, then we can start there.
I don't know how DUI plays into that.
Look up Florida's red flag laws. They've been applying 8,000 of them since the Parkland shooting.
2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 1120 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
If your house sits on a double lot and you're interested in selling it instead of mowing the extra ground, we're interested in buying it. We've been buying a lot of infill lots throughout the greater St. Louis area, and we're even buying raw ground. So if you have any land you're interested in selling, whether it's a vacant lot, raw ground, or house on a double lot, we're interested in buying it. We'll even subdivide it ourselves. Please reach out. Clayman.group.com. KLAMEN Group.com. 314-946-9999. 314-946-9999.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or CrawfordButts.com.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota. If you're worried about gas prices, Toyota has the most models of hybrid electrics in the industry. From the best-selling Camry to the best-selling RAV4, we've got it all. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or NewboldToyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
News, talk, sports. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
All right, we got our Redbird Report coming up in just a few minutes. John Rooney's going to join us. We'll talk about last night. Last night's game it started off like it was going to be easy, and then, well, it's never easy against the Dodgers. I mean, they just erased 2 5-run deficits, I think, over the weekend against the Cubs. I mean, they're very good, so nothing's ever in hand. But it seemed like it might be early, but then they battled back. But the Cardinals navigated through a incredibly difficult situation. The bullpen was money again. And by bullpen, I mean the guys that are traditional relievers. Matthew Liberatore struggled a bit coming in relief kind of as the bulk innings guy after both Hicks and Oviedo had pitched before that. But either way, we'll talk about last night's game and, of course, look ahead with John Rooney in a few minutes.
Sometimes, Kevin, when I am watching a ball game and there develops a pretty big lead like that, there are times where I'm like, you know what, I might check out of this game. I'm ready to watch the first episode of Better Call Saul because I missed it last night. So I might go get to it this time around, but then the lead started to chip away, and I'm like, I better stick around for this. Yeah. And I did. So because of that, they prevented me from watching it earlier.
We also get to see some good drama too. Like
you got to see drama,
really good action in last night.
Sometimes you think there's not going to be any drama, and then there ends up being drama.
There was big time, and we'll be kicking that around with John Rooney in a couple of minutes. We've been talking recently about age when it comes to people serving in political office, mostly because we've been talking about the presidency, right? The two likely candidates, it would seem, for 2024 are not going to be young. And I think it's important to point out that your age doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have the ability to do the job. I mean, that's not the point that we're making. It's not the point that I'm making. But when it does, if you've been around long enough, I'm more worried about how much time these people have spent within the institutions. Mm-hmm. And I'm speaking of the Senate. I'm speaking of the House. I'm speaking of being vice president, president. The longer that you've been in that world, the further removed you are from being like everyone else. And you don't see things the same way as people who, I don't know, maybe have lived in the real world in the last 10 years or in the last 5 years. And that's more of my beef. But I did see a story that made me chuckle.
Okay.
That there are currently 5 U.S. senators. Mm-hmm. Is it 5 or 4? 4 or 5?
4 senators.
4 U.S. senators. And will include the president is not quite there, but he's close, that are older than chocolate chip cookies.
So I will say, when I first heard this,
it's a weird thing, but it's funny.
It is funny. I love odd comparisons. Like, this meteor is so big, it'd be 1,031 giraffes stacked on top of each other. And I'm like, what is it? How do you stack a giraffe? Is it the head? Is it the back? So the chocolate chip cookie thing is interesting. And of course, you're like, okay, who are they? Senator Dianne Feinstein and Chuck Grassley, two well-known, are there.
Both 87.
Yes. And then there are 2 Republican senators as well that are
Richard Shelby and Jim Inhofe.
Yes, who are older.
Or Inhofe. I can never get it right.
Who are older than chocolate chip cookies. My first thought was the Toll House invented chocolate chip cookies in 1905. That was my first thought. I don't know if either of those things are true, but chocolate chip cookies were 1938.
Yeah.
According to
I thought they were older.
I thought it was
like
1905.
I would have thought that chocolate chip cookies would be like OG cookies, like back to the original.
Oh, I was thinking at least as old as ice cream cones.
So it was invented at the Toll House Inn. I was right. Ruth Wakefield invented them at the Toll House Inn, but it was 1938.
Wow.
38. Okay.
1938.
And ice cream cones, 1904. Invented here in St.
And
Louis.
if you're
The
wondering,
cones or the process
the
of
ice
putting
cream-
ice cream into a cone?
The ice cream cone.
Okay.
I
Like the
love-
concept of the two together.
I love the idea of the
Well,
ice
you
cream
wouldn't have-
cone and the ice cream being completely separate for decades. And then one guy goes,
Like
it could be. You can put other stuff in there.
my
Like
gosh.
the cone was just there.
You can put
Like, what
other
do we
stuff.
do with this cone?
You can put other stuff in there.
Like chicken. Like
chicken.
chicken cone.
Yes.
Oh, God, that
was
place is
lunch
good.
the other day.
For,
Yes.
for what it's worth, the account that tweeted out the chocolate chip cookie stat is Sweet Meteor O' Death.
That means please Meteor. Please find us.
Take us out.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it to take us out.
Sweet Meteor
You know what
O'
though?
Death.
That's how people are like, how would you like to go? You want to go in your sleep? No. I want to go via asteroid, meteor, whatever.
That's selfish, though.
No, it's not.
It's a little one that hits just you.
Well, no. It's that wouldn't be possible. I guess it actually would be possible.
It would be.
But no,
One
I
of those
want.
little ones would
I
burn
would
up
like
in the atmosphere, though.
I would like my death to coincide with everybody else's death. That way, I don't feel like I'm alone.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
You know what I
actually-
mean?
That's actually not unreasonable.
Have you
Yeah,
heard
like
that-
I think I would not fear death if I knew all of us were. It was going to happen to all of us at once.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the prayer of the selfish child. Have you heard that? Where it's like, and now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my toys to break so none of the other kids can use them.
Wow. You know what? I feel that, man. I really feel that. That's actually not the same because I would want to leave my toys for other people. I would want if I knew I was going to go alone, but I just like for us to all go at once.
Yeah. So what's interesting, here we go. The average age per party per chamber. So the average age of Republicans in the House is 56.
Okay.
The average age of Democrats in the House is 59. The average age of Republicans in the Senate and the average age Democrats in the Senate is the exact same at 63. It's kind of odd, isn't it?
Well, the most common age in both houses, so the House and the Senate, is between the age range is between 60 and 69. So people in their 60s are the plurality of all the members of Congress, right? So, and I'm with the one thing I disagree with Kevin on is I don't think they're necessarily. Well, I don't necessarily think that just because you're old and been around a long time means you shouldn't serve, because I do believe there is something to be said about institutional knowledge.
Yeah.
That it helps get things going.
And relationships.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
We've got things going these days. 314 texted in. Yes, guys, we need a little meteor for our miniature star.
Stop texting the show. No more text.
Did you hear what Glover said?
Every day, of course, new studies, new surveys, new this, new that. And it's all about gut health, which is now the most important thing in the world. It's not just about what you eat, it's about when you eat it. And I just about had a meltdown. And I think you guys will get this. But don't you yearn sometimes for the days of like grandma made an apple pie out of lard and you just eat it?
Right.
Stop it. Stop it. I'm just so tired of the minutia about life.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Military Appreciation Night, presented by Valley Sports Midwest, returns to the ballpark on Friday, July 15th. With the purchase of a theme ticket, fans receive an exclusive Cardinals cap, honoring their favorite branch of the military. Plus, don't miss a pregame performance by United States Air Force Band Starlifter on the Budweiser stage. A portion of each ticket purchased will be donated to USO Missouri. For tickets, visit cardinals.com/theme. When the Cardinals host the Reds on Friday, July 15th, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home a specially designed all-over print Cardinals hat, courtesy of Brown & Crouppen. Dress to impress with this exclusive Cardinals hat, featuring vintage Cardinals logos all over. That's Friday, July 15th. The Cardinals, the Reds, and the all-over print hat. Great seats remain. Get yours at cardinals.com/promotions.
Soaring inflation, rising interest rates, stock market volatility, and higher taxes. How will these unprecedented challenges impact you and your retirement? Find out in a one-night adult education class, Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. In just 3 hours, you'll learn how to overcome the unprecedented challenges facing the next wave of retirees. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. Learn from a fiduciary advisor with decades of financial planning experience. Register now by calling 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
At 12:30, we've got a blue sky. It's 88 degrees downtown at the Arch. St. Louis is usually known for great tasting tap water, but not today. Some are complaining of a metallic, earthy, or chlorine-like taste and odor coming from their faucet. The city's water division says it's safe to drink, but they are adjusting treatment and expect a change within a few days. With inflation reaching record highs, grocery shoppers are doing a double take at what they put in their carts. Damian Diaz is in Atlanta, Georgia.
Get any salmon now. Well, I mean, I can if I want to spend an arm and a leg for it. Normally I'm able to get like the little packs of salmon or whatever, or even just a long one for under $10. Now you're getting real salmon, but now you're paying the real prices, like $30, $40, or whatever the case may be.
President Joe Biden is visiting Israel for the first time since taking office. Biden received a formal welcome in Tel Aviv from Israeli President Isaac Herzog.
Mr. President, welcome to Israel, our brother Joseph. Baruch haba Israel, Achinu Yosef. The people of Israel welcome you to the Holy Land with open arms and joyous hearts.
Biden was briefed on Israel's Iron Dome and Iron Beam air defense systems. Stalled vehicle 6440 west before Mason on the right shoulder, 270 west on the ramp from Riverview, 6440 east before 270 on the right shoulder. Weather is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. High today of 90, low humidity. Overnight low 72, 60s in some suburbs, and high tomorrow 94. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. It's 88 degrees and it feels like 88 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Men suffering from ED or PE, Paramount Men's Medical Center is featuring Restore Wave, the latest in non-invasive ED treatment. You'll see results on your first visit or pay nothing. Call 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Americans are struggling, and in D.C., politicians do nothing. It's time for a fighter like Eric Schmidt. Biden's green energy policy punishing us at the pump. Eric Schmidt will fight back. Biden's big government spending sprees. Eric Schmidt will stand strong. Biden's failed agenda, driving up inflation. Eric Schmidt says no more. Fed up? Choose a fighter. Eric Schmidt, U.S. Senate. AFP Action paid for and is responsible for the content of this messaging. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AFPAction.com.
This time of year, you might notice that the brick in your patio is going astray. Call Morelli. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan for Morelli Tuck Pointing, which has won every award possible in this industry, including the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to companies with exceptional customer service. Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis and beyond for 31 years. Morelli can do completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches, patios, caulking, waterproofing solutions, and much more. Family owned and operated, and a lot of longtime employees that are like family. Call and request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387 or online at MorelliTuckPointing.com. And don't forget to check out their great reviews on the Google and Better Business Bureau websites. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sundays at 10:15 on Sports Open Line and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX. Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX, sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
Naughton can finish it off with one good pitch. He's got a 2-2 count on Bellinger. And here comes the 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! Packy Naughton, what a job! Came in with the bases loaded. Got a pop out, another pop out, then a strikeout of Bellinger, and he sends the Cardinals to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Hell of a moment in the 7th inning last night, as you heard it right here on KMOX. That was Rick Horton with the call. His partner John Rooney joining us for the Redbird Report. And John, there was a lot into last night's game. We had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of excitement, but that was one of the best escapes that I think I've seen in a long time.
No, it certainly was. And what I enjoyed about it is the way he calmly came out of the bullpen, and he was able to reach out for the moment, make his pitches, and he got those 2 short fly balls that they couldn't score Freeman from third base. And then he zeroed in on the matchup that Oliver wanted, the lefty against lefty with Bellinger at the plate. And boy, did it work out with the strikeout you just heard. But he pitched well last night. So did Helsley. The other pitchers, so-so.
Yeah. Well, John, when that happened, every time a bases loaded situation happens and a guy gets out of it, I always default to the 05 playoffs. And you were on the call for that. Red Sox, White Sox, and Orlando Hernandez on the mound. And so I think about that every time because I then think about El Duque's quote or what he allegedly said to the guys in the bullpen about, I'm not worried about this. Fidel Castro tried to kill my family. I can handle this pressure moment here. And so I think about that every time, and I always think of you.
Well, I thought about that as well. That was a very special moment that could have turned the series around for the Boston Red Sox, but the White Sox went ahead and eliminated Boston really fast and moved on to play the Angels and later the Astros, winning the World Series. But that was a huge moment for sure in that series in Boston, and it was at Fenway Park. So he played Houdini, and he made all the magic work just the way Packy Naughton did last night. Naughton really didn't get much of a chance with the Angels, and he has delivered, I think, 10 times what anybody expected for the Cardinals, getting a chance to pitch here now. And he had the one bad game down at Tampa Bay where a ball went off his hand, was misdirected, and then he got nickeled and dimed. But other than that, he's kept his spirit, and he has been a valuable piece to the Cardinal bullpen.
And I always think about him, too, because it was just a couple of weeks ago that Oli Marmol basically said, hey, just do the job for us, and we're not going to keep shuttling you back to AAA. You're going to stick with us, and he's really done that in a very big way.
And that's when he gave the Cardinals an extra inning down in Atlanta and ended up saving his first save in professional baseball. The last win the Cardinals had on the road trip, only their second, was that last ball game. And Packy was, again, very, very good. And last night, Helsley was all-star in his performance. And Giovanni Gallegos, when he gets deep in counts, he has his problems, just like the home run that Freeman hit. But he was able to outlast the Dodgers, who they're the comeback team. They have, 25 comeback victories, and they came from 2 5-run deficits on Sunday to beat the Cubs in L.A., and you can almost feel that momentum shifting, but Packy Naughton put a stop to that last night.
He sure did, and that was a great moment. Obviously, Ryan Helsley, as you mentioned, John, was fantastic. The offense was pretty good yesterday, too, though. 7 runs, 13 hits. And Albert with home run number 685. And, he doesn't always play a lot, but lately he's been playing more because of some guys that are out. And this month he's already got 2 home runs. He's got a couple of doubles. He had the home run last night, hitting .333 this month. It's nice to see the contributions. We knew he would be able to contribute against lefties, but he's doing a little bit more than that here lately.
He's still a big league bat. And I'm telling you, Kevin, the way he contributes and the way he prepares, he said after his game on Sunday, on Monday against the Phillies, that he works his butt off to get ready for each at bat. And it shows. He is more than a credible big league bat at this stage of his career. And I like to see him in the lineup against lefties and righties. The way he's stinging the ball right now kind of reminded me of the way he was hitting when he showed up at spring training down in Jupiter and let everybody know that he still has something to contribute. And and he can definitely help a team win. But seeing the lower part of the lineup contribute, that's something that just wasn't clicking on the last road trip for the most part. And it has been as the Cardinals have won their last 3 games.
Oh, you make a good point. Corey Dickerson was 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles yesterday. Andrew Kisner, 3 for 4, 3 runs driven in. And, we know that Kisner's offense has been a bit of a question. Nice to see something from him. And, Dickerson has had a weird year, John. I mean, we all know he's a veteran. He's been a good hitter in the past in his major league career, but it wasn't really working for him. But since coming back from the injured list, he's put up some offense here in these last few days. And again, important because some guys are out.
Well, I'm from Missouri, and you have to show me. And when he said the other day that he was pressing, and that was the reason for his poor start, I thought, well, that's possible. Let's just wait and see. And now I'm really buying into that. I think since his rehab assignments and coming back from the calf injury and the way he has been taking at bats and looks a lot more confident in the batter's box, he just looks like he's walking up there to hit. The way we saw him many times when he played against the Cardinals, especially in Pittsburgh, he just didn't strike out much at all. And the way he's making contact right now, I'm buying his story more and more every day. That could have been the problem, trying to impress, thus trying to do way too much, and that led to a poor start for him.
John, we've talked a lot about the young guys stepping up, but we finally have a timeline on the return of Yadier Molina, and we know he brings leadership and experience, back into the lineup. But from your point of view, what are some of those intangibles or maybe tangibles that he brings to the team that you see manifesting once he does return in early August?
Well, anybody who watched Yadier Molina with the Puerto Rican team, the last World Baseball Classic, even when Yadi wasn't on the field, he was like a great conductor of the symphony orchestra. He was pointing out where people should be, what they should be doing, really managing from behind the plate and from the dugout. He brings that to the team. There's another great voice coming back to the Cardinals when he's activated that joins an Adam Wainwright and joins Albert Pujols with what they have to contribute, and right along with Arenado and Goldschmidt and their wealth of experience. That means a lot, having Yadier Molina just around the team, but it means even more when he gets back there and contributes. And if he's able to help Adam Wainwright and help the duo gain the most starts by a battery in Major League history, that's going to be a great milestone, and I think we're going to see that. Yadi wants to get back and contribute, and that's great news.
And since we talked last, we get the news on Jack Flaherty, which is not particularly good news. The Cardinals have already been without him for all but 3 games this season. You were still kind of expecting him to be back and be part of the team in the second half of the season. And now that they may not have him for an extended period of time, what does that mean for them in terms of the rotation?
Well, it means that Steven Matt's return is going to be important to the Cardinals, and to have a big contribution from him after the All-Star break. We're well into the second half of the season right now, and I think something we need to look at on the schedule is more off days once we come back from the All-Star break, where they're spaced out, and that can be a big boost not only to the team as a whole, but to the pitching rotation and that starting rotation. And I hope that Zach Thompson is able to get stretched out and contribute some big innings, because I really like what I saw from him this last time around since coming up from Memphis. But if Jack Flaherty's not there, then it has to be the next man up. And right now it looks like that next man up is Steven Matz getting back and in the rotation and being productive.
Yeah, I believe he threw 80 pitches yesterday, struck out 7, gave up 1 run or maybe none in like 4 1/3 innings. So he's definitely taken a big step toward coming back. And tonight, John, we get to hear you and Ricky make the call with Adam Wainwright going up against Tony Gonsolin. And Waino was great last time out with the complete game. Gonsolin's just 11-0 with a 1.92 ERA on the year. So it looks like it's going to be a hell of a matchup tonight.
Well, that's all. He's an all-star and should be with that kind of record and those numbers. Just looking over his line yesterday, he's been tough to deal with. And the Cardinals have seen him in the past, but put some good at-bats on him. You don't have to beat Gonsolin. Stay close and go after the bullpen if that's the way you have to go about winning a ball game tonight. And the Cardinals, the way they're getting some production out of the lower part of the lineup, get Goldie going right along with Arenado, it's paramount that Tommy Edman get back into a good run, because it seems as Tommy goes, the Cardinals tend to go. But put some good at-bats on Gonsolin and the Dodger pitching staff tonight and take your chances. And Ricky said it didn't quite feel like October baseball. It felt like definitely a pennant chase in September. And I thought it had some qualities of October baseball, that game last night. And it's good to have that here in July leading up to the All-Star break.
Well, and John, as we let you go, I got to say, last Friday was my first time at the Live at Lowe's post game that you guys do. And what a good broadcast crew you guys are. You, Ricky Horton, Mike Claiborne. I had a really fun time.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Amy. And we do have a good time with that. Ricky and Mike do the bulk of those shows. And it's fun when I can sit in. I've been over there with John Jay and then with Descalzo. So it was great to see Daniel again. Two good young players who became heart and soul type players as they developed their major league careers, and two terrific Cardinals and world champions. It's fun to be around those people and to talk baseball and see all the fans up there too. So we're glad you got to be there.
John, say hello to Rick and Mike for us, and say hello to Jim Jackson for us as well. Enjoy the game. We'll be listening tonight.
You got it, Kevin, and thanks a lot. Always great to be on the show.
We appreciate you. That's John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals. 6:35 is when John and Rick will take over the broadcast. So pregame, 5:50. 6:35, John and Rick take over. First pitch, 6:45. Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. Adam Wainwright get the start for the Cardinals.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri. We're for kayakers, trail hikers, wine tasters, cave divers, grocery baggers, car dealers, and the man who plays saxophone outside the coffee shop. We're for the 100,000 fans that taught the nation how to tailgate, and the Division II national champion mules. We're for cowboys, hipsters, lead singers, and everyone else who likes to wear tight jeans. We're for the guy in a camo hat at a Nelly concert. We're for Rolla engineers and weekend volunteers. Armed service members, you bet we're for you. We're for teachers, preachers, students, and singers. We're for anyone who ends their address with a comma and a mo. We're for people who shake your hand and say hello, not because they know you, but because they don't. We're for contractors, road pavers, ticket takers, and horse trainers. We're for brewmasters, stockbrokers, beauty queens, and truck drivers. And if you're a fourth-generation soybean grower, don't worry. We're still for farmers, too. Whatever you do, if you're a Missourian, we're for you. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey with a question facing homeowners. Would you sell your current home if you found your dream home? Well, of course you would. And that's why you need to call Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria has a program that eliminates the worry of selling your current home and having to find your next home with inventory being so low. Gloria is expert at finding listed and unlisted homes that match your specific criteria. Let Gloria know exactly what you're looking for, and she'll find your dream home in the neighborhood of your choice. Once Gloria finds a homeowner who may consider a sale but hasn't put it on the market yet, Gloria will inspect that home, set up a private no obligation showing, and negotiate on your behalf at no charge if you want to make an offer. If your offer is accepted, Gloria Lou will also help you sell your existing home. Learn more by calling Gloria Lou at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs, 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
I'm not a weather guy, but I'm thinking we're going to have another hot month coming up here in July. Remember, like I said last month, if your air conditioner breaks and you do need to replace it, call me for a second opinion or even a price. You won't regret it. I won't waste your time. But if you don't call me, remember this. Do not take the cost of energy as it is right now and base it into your decision that you need an extremely high efficient air conditioner. I can assure you, as I speak right now, you will be wasting your money. You will not get a return on your investment. So don't panic. Call me, Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest number, and it's only one number, and there's only one Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or Bart Inman, that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I, Pineview.com.
Hi, guys. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Well, if you've lived in St. Louis for a long time, you know that weather plays havoc on the outside of your home. And that's why Banner Construction specializes in the best James Hardy fiber cement siding and Pella replacement windows. When you refresh your home's exterior with Banner Construction, you'll not only optimize your curb appeal and market value, you'll have the best looking home in the neighborhood. James Hardy is unmatched for its weather resistance, its toughness, and its beauty. And as a preferred James Hardy contractor, Banner is basically a St. Louis institution. If you need to replace your windows, remember that Banner is also a Pella Platinum certified contractor. You'll get the optimum in installation and energy efficiency. Don't settle for less than the quality craftsmanship that you get from Banner Construction. 314-569-1050 and check out the beautiful videos of Banner craftsmanship at bannerconstruction.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side fighting for every last dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Did you know that one of the health benefits of swimming lessons is burning more calories than jogging while providing ease on your joints? SwimOnFoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Amy, Chris, and Kevin.
The greatest radio talk show host ever.
Now, more of the show.
All right, it's a show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy March Scores, and Kevin Wheeler with you here on a Wednesday. And Ranji, you put something on the rundown that I'm not familiar with.
Well, why didn't you read it then?
It says fear of the chiropractor.
Oh, you're not afraid of chiropractors now?
No.
I am.
You know, Ranj, we don't share
I thought it was a
this
movie
fear.
at first. I'm like, it's the fear of the chiropractor.
Yeah. So,
Get adjusted.
you know, we've been talking about irrational fears.
Yeah, you seem to have some of those.
Yeah, Amy's got more than I do, but I'm developing
guys
some.
are pretty
As
close.
time goes on, there are more and more of them that pop up, and I
You-
go, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because you just listed one of your fears that's not mine, which is having the wrong thing amputated or removed.
Yeah, that
in
is
a surgery.
How could you not be afraid of
I
that?
don't know. I just don't worry about that.
The
Yeah, I
only
don't
reason I wouldn't worry about that is because I don't have a lot of surgeries. Knock on wood. But if I
that was
do,
for Micah that you just knocked out.
if I do, then I have a concern about it. I'm going to bring. I'll tell you this much: if I ever have surgery, I'm bringing my own Sharpie, and I will mark my own body, and I'll say, "Take this thing,
Yeah.
not that thing that you were
I-
about to take."
I will say this: if you're at a point in your life where you're having, quote, a lot of surgeries, maybe one of those surgeries going wrong isn't your biggest problem. You should be wondering, why are you having so many surgeries?
Yeah, you know, we will cross that bridge when I get there, Amy.
Okay.
But we're not there yet. So here's this story out of Savannah, Georgia. There's a recent Georgia Southern College grad who has been paralyzed after a chiropractic visit. So she went to a routine visit. And now she has all these medical bills because she says, or her brother says, that morning we were up and talking to her before work. You're talking to her, and then 30 minutes later, she's in the hospital, now in the ICU. So they did some sort of adjustments, but 4 arteries were dissected accidentally during the course of her adjustment. She can open her eyes now. and she wakes up a little bit. She can move her hands to squeeze, but that is all she's able to do. So she had a stroke, cardiac arrest, loss of pulse for 10 minutes. And so right now, she is currently paralyzed. There is some hope that she'll come out of it. But this was all because of a routine chiropractic visit, which made me think two things. One, she clearly did not go see a chiropractor that went to Logan, because Logan is a fine chiropractic university. And second, I'm never going to a chiropractor now because
See,
I don't want to end up in this position.
The rational fear would be, I'm afraid of that chiropractor.
Yeah.
Not I'm afraid of going to a chiropractor.
Well, and here's the thing, though, Ranj, because that's a horrific story.
Yeah, it's
But
very
when you
bad.
think of all the people that go to chiropractors, get adjusted, and go frequently or regularly, and I am one who goes to a chiropractor. I would not be running today if not for Dr. Laterman in Chesterfield. And
He's great, I've
Optimal
heard
Performance
from
Center.
Amy.
Yes, he got me able to run my marathon. But here's the thing: when you think of all the people who go to chiropractors, and then we hear that story, I wonder for all the people who constantly spend time in hospitals or get surgeries where they get, like, I've heard of, like a staph infection while you're in the hospital, or there was a mistake made with medicine. Like, mistakes happen.
Well, the thing he's just talking about, like having the
your
wrong thing removed. I mean, that's
removed.
not a fear of going to the doctor. It's a fear of that doctor.
That's right.
Like, I'm more afraid of a hospital stay than going to the chiropractor, for sure.
Well, that makes sense
And I
because
love hospitals. I love the medical world. I'm just saying things do go wrong occasionally, but this is like one story.
Yeah.
I don't have a fear.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't-
well,
that, again, maybe
you're a
of
brave
that
soul.
particular person you would want to avoid.
Yeah, maybe I should go to a chiropractor, see how it goes. But again, it would have
Do
to be
you need-
somebody.
I don't know. Maybe he could
Do you
an-
need something?
No, I
Maybe,
feel okay.
I know. Maybe you could use an attitude adjustment.
Oh, Amy's
Hey,
got
I could help.
jokes.
I could help him with that.
I'll give
No.
you something to cry about. That's
Yeah,
your
that's
dad.
exactly right.
Your
Oh
dad
my
for
God.
you.
Kevin is such a dad. He really is.
Yeah, Ron, stop your crying, or I'll give you something to cry about. Don't
Mhm.
make me turn this show around.
Yeah,
All that do is just make you hate your dad more.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I don't know about, all I know is, like, yes, an adjustment, but it might be an attitude adjustment. And there might not be a chiropractor
Well,
who
I'm
can
not.
help you with that.
I'm not saying I don't need that. What I am saying is, in this particular case, I don't need a back adjustment because I want to be able to walk.
Jeez, man.
No, chiropractors are fine. You're all good at what you do, except for this one in Georgia. Don't go to them.
Wake up on a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Maureen talks about her experience using 3-day kitchen and bath.
I had for years been dreaming how I wanted my kitchen down to every detail. When 3-day kitchen and bath came, they were thrilled to death that I knew exactly what I wanted. They came back with a drawing and it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. They came in, they did their thing, and it turned out as perfect as I imagined it. The quality of it is beautiful. It's amazing. It is beautiful. They were efficient. They were trustworthy. The recommendations were unquestionable, and they were going to do exactly what I wanted. I had a lovely experience.
Start your remodel today by visiting 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save $1 or $2. The bad,
Kevin, there's no hot water.
so you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating. Call Steve All and the All Financial Group. They've been helping folks plan for retirement for years. That's why they've been able to correct do-it-yourself problems before they're problems. Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Steve today, 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Get more details at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory services offered through All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuity products offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
the home of the Cardinals. KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
When it comes to your health, you want the best care possible, right? Well, when it comes to your eyes, you'll find that at Ophthalmology Associates. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. From glasses, LASIK, or cataract surgery, and anything related to eye care, doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer are among the best. Dry eye is a concern for a lot of folks, and Ophthalmology Associates is the leader in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They can help you understand your condition and treat it with the absolute newest, most innovative approach. Are you considering LASIK surgery? You need to call the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. If cataracts are a problem, these doctors use the most advanced multifocal lens implants to minimize the need for glasses after surgery. I've been a patient here for about 25 years, but forget that. More than 250 local doctors have trusted their eyes to Ophthalmology Associates. 314-966-5000 and youridoc.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, it's mostly sunny and 88 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, gun control advocates are rallying on Capitol Hill today, calling for new restrictions in the wake of the most recent mass shooting. CBS's Deborah Alfarone has more from Capitol Hill.
They have descended on Capitol Hill from Uvalde, Texas, and Highland Park, Illinois.
I hit the ground while holding my daughter against me. I was able to scream to the crowd that it was a shooter and to get down. In hindsight, getting down was probably not the best move considering our assailant was above us.
They're all calling on Congress to pass new gun control measures, including a universal background check and a ban on assault weapons.
Community reaction to a Texas school shooting video.
The release of a portion of the 77-minute Robb Elementary School shooting surveillance video has prompted new resentment and anger toward police. Nicole Ogburn is a fourth-grade teacher at the school.
There wasn't just one person failing us. It was multiple people. Nobody's ever going to know how many of those could have been saved.
Community members will see the full in-school video Sunday. Jim Crisilda, CBS News.
Prices keep going up.
Inflation at a fresh 4-decade high in June, soaring 9.1% in the past year. This pretty much cements another jumbo rate hike from the Federal Reserve at its next meeting at the end of the month. Officials may even debate a historic 1 percentage point hike. Stocks plunged out of the gate on that shockingly hot report, but it has been a volatile session for traders. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Flexing county policing power, Executive Sam Page went on record this morning opposing the city of Manchester's plan to annex 2,500 homes out of St. Louis, unincorporated St. Louis County.
And St. Louis County spends $166 million each year on policing, representing 48% of the general fund budget. This allows our department to offer highly specialized services that smaller communities cannot match.
The Boundary Commission has to reach a decision by February of next year. Page says he will pen a letter to them this week to officially oppose it. President Biden has arrived in the Middle East for the first time since taking office.
Welcome to Israel, our brother Joseph.
The president was greeted in Tel Aviv by, among others, Israeli counterpart Isaac Herzog, before noting what he calls a stronger than ever relationship between the two nations.
Bone deep.
The president says he has a full agenda the next few days in a region full of challenges and opportunities.
Greater peace, greater stability, greater connection.
He did not mention one of the trip's biggest goals, assuring Israeli and Saudi officials that the U.S. remains committed to keeping Iran from becoming a nuclear power. His administration, though, is becoming increasingly pessimistic about resurrecting the deal to stop that from happening. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk. Starbucks is closing 16 stores in Los Angeles, Seattle, Portland, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. because of safety concerns. KYW reporter Tim Jimenez talked with customers at the Philadelphia store.
Healthcare and university employees like Travis are in here a lot.
Pretty much every morning, Monday through Friday, yes.
Another Jefferson employee, Brian Stone, is disappointed that it's closing, but he gets it too. The issue, more of what's happening outside the walls of the store.
People are worried about, being in the city. I mean, it's the crime rising on a daily basis, and even in broad daylight, people are really taking serious concerns about it. It's unfortunate.
And the Dow from Stifel is down 194 points to 30,786. And MoDOT says that 70 East is closed at Cave Springs Truman. 70 East closed at Cave Springs Truman, according to MoDOT. Debris on 70 East at Salisbury in the right lane. Stalled vehicle 55 north past Merrimack Bottom on the right shoulder. Stall 364 west before Arena Parkway on the right shoulder.
Well, a good deal of sunshine this afternoon with fairly low humidity, a high near 90. A clear sky tonight, low 72 downtown. It will still drop into the 60s in many suburbs. And mostly sunny, a hot day tomorrow, high 94. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Right now, sun's shining. It's 88 in Florissant, 89 in St. Peters, and 88 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444.
All right, 105 on the show here on KMOX. Chris Ron, Jamie, Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Now, Roger, talking about another one of your potential irrational fears in the last segment.
I said irrational.
I know. Here's one that I think might stoke some real fear. I just saw this story that passengers on a flight from Kansas City to Denver were rushed off a plane because of smoke and fire, because there's video from inside the plane of everybody kind of like trying to get up real fast and get off the plane. That might not be great.
Yeah.
That would be bothersome to me, I think. Or if somebody, even though I know you can't physically pull the door open once the plane is pressurized and in the air, but if somebody did reach for the emergency exit, knowing they couldn't physically, even if they wanted to try and open that door, I think that would freak me out a lot.
This happened shortly after, I think it was months after September 11th. A friend of ours was flying. And again, I think just because everyone was on high alert, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was someone, I actually don't know what religion, but I believe it was someone who was going to pray. I don't know what religion, but this person got up calmly, walked towards the front of the plane to where the door was, and then I guess got down on his knees. And my friend said my initial reaction was, oh my gosh. Now remember, this is months after September 11th, so it was fresh on everyone's mind. And I think the flight attendants asked the person, like, okay, what's happening? And he was allowed to pray. Again, I don't know what religion or whatever, but I can see how something like that, if someone moves towards the front of the door months after September 11th, you might be a little hypervigilant, like a little, on edge.
I think if anybody gets out of their airplane seat and goes somewhere special to start to pray in any religion, I'm probably going to freak out a little bit.
Well,
like, why are you doing this right now?
That's exactly what I mean, because it was a prayer, and I don't know what religion, but it could have been.
Doesn't matter the religion.
Just do it at your seat.
Yeah, do it at your seat.
Yes.
Do it quietly, whatever
but
it
kind
is.
of that door, because is he going to open the door?
Yeah.
What's going on?
But you can't, I mean, again, physically, you cannot do it because of the pressure in the plane. Like, it's just not possible to do it unless you're Superman, which I don't believe exists.
Well, he would just rip the door off.
He would just rip the whole plane, yeah.
Now, didn't Mythbusters do the thing where they broke the window in the plane, and then, how you get sucked out the window?
Or they say you would.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they?
Well, that's the thing. I watched the episode, and I don't remember.
Don't you think you would have hung onto that bit of information?
Yeah. Because they also did the Mythbusters episode where they sunk the car, because the story, obviously until your car, the pressure inside the car with the water evens out with the pressure in the water itself, you can't open the door. But people panic, right, when your car goes underwater.
Yeah.
And so one of the main guys, and not Jamie, but the other one of Mythbusters, they had a scuba diver in the back seat. So, okay, we've got a scuba diver with an extra oxygen tank hose for you. And then they drive the car to the pool, and they let the car slowly sink as the water fills up. And the Mythbuster is, you can see him telling himself, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. And then he holds his breath as the car fills completely with water, and then he waits. And he actually, I believe he failed the first time because he panicked. And so the scuba diver had to come in and give him oxygen. The second time he did it, he was able to wait until the entire car filled with water and it pressurized or depressurized. And then he opened the door. But he said of every Mythbuster myth that they attempted to test, that was by far the scariest and most panic inducing to be in that car, even with a scuba diver in the back. And he's like, so the fact that you would have that presence of mind if you drove into a lake, he finds hard to believe.
I am glad that you brought this up because I am also afraid of falling into water in my car and not being able to do anything about it. I even bought, I don't know where it's at.
Oh my gosh,
I think
you got one of those little window crackers?
Yeah, I have one.
I was just going to say my grandparents had one of those, and they're like, you really need one of these things to break the window if you drive into a lake.
Who drives into? I mean, I know it happens.
Well, nobody
but like,
does it on purpose.
No, I'm saying like it happens, but it's not like a regular thing.
I think it happens a lot with roads flooding. I mean, you see it in the news a couple times a year, right? A car that's submerged.
Yes. Yeah, I think about that every now and then.
Yeah.
So do you have a cracker, a window cracker?
I can't find it. Now I'm going to.
Why did you just put it in your car?
It is in my car, but I've changed cars.
Okay.
And I don't know where it is now because
Okay.
not everything got transferred over
Do
the
you
way
have
it should.
anything else in your car that is reflective of the fears that you have, like the window cracker?
No, just hand sanitizer. That's it. When I touch you gross people and then I have to go into my car.
Ron drives into a lake, pumps the hand sanitizer, gets a little
It's like,
sanitizer
all right,
in
now
his
I'm
hand,
good.
grabs the hand cracker, the window cracker.
Yeah, you never know who handled that thing.
Only me, Kevin.
Yeah.
But well, now I don't because I can't find it. So maybe it's getting passed around.
So this flight from Kansas City to Denver, as the plane was landing, the pilot came on and said, everybody needs to get off the plane. So like as soon as we stop, you got to get off the plane. Like that's what he's told. How long do you think it took everybody to get off? Now, some of them went down the slides and some of them went out the regular, like the jetway, the regular thing. How long do you think it took to empty this plane?
Okay, and this was on, where was this?
This was in Denver.
On the tarmac.
On the tarmac, or I guess maybe I don't know if they pulled up to the gate or not, but it made it sound like they did because, well, either that or they brought out one of those little stairs.
Yeah,
stairs
I would say knowing that people are very good about not standing up before it's your turn to get up and doing things in an orderly fashion when a flight is done.
Especially when they're panicked.
Right. I would say that it probably moved very efficiently and there were no problems.
Okay, give us
and
a
it
time.
was-
How long?
it was
Give me a time.
45 seconds.
Okay, I will say
It's either 45 seconds or 20 minutes.
17 minutes and 28 seconds.
It was a minute and a half.
That's
Wow,
really good.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
That was the most impressive part to me
Wow.
is that I guess it makes sense because everybody's going to hurry and they were being told, leave your bags, don't bring your stuff. We got to go. Like we just got to get off. Don't bring your stuff. So maybe that sped it up because nobody's going into the bins because that's what slows it down when you're
That's
normally
exactly
going
true.
on. It's people that are going to try to
Ah,
fit
that's a good
the
point.
giant bag into the overhead bin or people that can't get it down and they need to get it. So usually like that's what slows it down. And maybe that's I'm just encouraged by the fact that they could do it in 90 seconds because
That's
I thought
really
it was going to
quick.
be more like 5 minutes.
Did you see the movie Sully?
Sully, yes.
yeah,
Sullenberger.
yeah.
How long did that take in the movie?
I
to
don't
Get
remember.
everyone on the little floats.
Not,
the
I
not
don't
very
know.
long.
The wings of the plane.
Yeah, not very long.
Do you ever think about this? I think about this as I lie in bed at night. And that would be, they always say if you're in a fire, your house or your apartment building's on fire, do not grab anything. Like leave, do not, because that you have to fight every instinct to grab things that are important to you. And I always think, I definitely need to grab some things, but maybe if I keep them right by my bed, like you sleep next to your
You got a go bag, don't you?
your passport.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You have to have a go bag.
Like why would you not have a little bag? And I understand when they say, well, the bag could slow you down or you could fall if they had to rescue you. I get it. But if you're able to get out, could you have a little go bag that has your passport, you know what I mean? Your ID and
Be
maybe
a little fishy if you had a go bag that's got all those things in there and like somebody's like, why does Amy have
Why
all
is
these
there-
things in a bag?
There's a bag always packed sitting by the door.
Where are you going, Amy? What are you planning on doing?
You
here?
never
You
know.
how hard it is to get a passport if you've lost it.
I've never tried.
That is, I don't know, but I would imagine it's difficult because you have to wait like months to get it in the first place.
Separate your important stuff. Have
gotta-
a good friend to keep your birth certificate somewhere else. You keep your passport.
What if their place catches fire?
Well, you've got your passport.
If they both happen at the same time, I think you both have the same enemy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a great point. You guys did see it was the cruise line that fire from last month. I don't know what what line it was. It doesn't really matter. But and I don't know. It's like a tower. You know, I don't know what they call those things, but it's like the tower on the cruise ship, and it was on fire, like it was an inferno. But apparently, the people remember that.
Yes.
And they were trying to put it out, but they could barely get the water up there to where it was because it was so high in the sky. And apparently, the people on the ship were just kind of like, the ship's on fire right now. We're still on the pool deck, and we're, laying out and hanging out and just looking at the fire. And that thing looks like.
What else are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Freak out.
It's like run in circles.
I probably will.
Well, have you seen Titanic? That thing was going down, Kevin.
It wasn't because of a fire.
Well, fire can cause a ship to go down eventually.
I mean, yeah,
you don't put it out.
So did they put it out?
Well, I think so.
The boat didn't sink, so yeah, I guess that probably did.
No, they just left it.
By the way, we just got a text in the 636 that says all of my cars are equipped with a window cracker.
Really?
Yeah, see, that's very good thinking.
I don't know if I have a window cracker.
I bet
Christy,
you can buy it at Walgreens.
I got 2 of them built in.
Oh
my
God,
gosh.
Kevin. He raised his fists like he's Superman over there.
The reaction was worth it, though. The look on your face.
Christy on Facebook says, okay, driving into water example, River to Pear. If you drive the lane closest to the river, you would understand how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I understand how.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it doesn't happen very often.
No, but you need to be mindful of it.
Well, and there's the Office scene where he's following the GPS, and the GPS says, turn right. And he turns right, and Dwight's like, this is a lake. He's like, she said to go right. And he just follows the GPS right into a lake.
You have to follow the GPS wherever it tells you to go.
That's exactly right.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, company, team bonding, and fun. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, September 22nd at Centene Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet Store. How long have you had sharp pain in your heel or that burning sensation on the bottom of your feet? Do you want to lose weight and exercise, but cannot because of foot, ankle, or low back pain? Many people come to the Good Feet Store talking about these same issues. The Good Feet Store has helped thousands of customers.
The pain in my foot was so bad I could not walk around for any length of time. I walked in the Good Feet Store in pain, and I walked out pain-free.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief to fit any budget. No shots, no surgery, no medication. Come in for a free test walk today.
Hello, this is Dave Walker, former Comptroller General of the United States. The federal government has grown dramatically, promised too much, lost control of its budget, and must restructure its finances in order to create a better future.
I agree, Dave. This is Ken Heisey from Heisey Advisory Group, and you're invited to a special event on Thursday, August 25th. Dave and I will talk about our country's financial issues and how they may impact your retirement. Learn why it's critical to take action now and discover strategies that can help protect your future. If you've saved at least $750,000 for retirement, call 314-328-4400 to register for this special event. After a decades-long mission to promote fiscal responsibility at all levels of government, you won't want to miss what Dave has to say. Call 314-328-4400.
Dave Walker is not affiliated with and does not endorse High Seed Advisory Group or AE Wealth Management, LLC. High Seed Advisory Group may not provide tax advice and is not affiliated with the U.S. government. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com. We've been buying a lot of houses lately with foundation and water damage. So if you have a house that has water issues, maybe water's coming in the basement or problems from previous water damage such as mold, we're interested in making you an all-cash offer. If you have a house with water or mold damage, foundation issues, please reach out. 314-946-9999. 314-946, all nines. Receive your all-cash offer today. ClaymanGroup.com.
With Pedal the Cause, you can make a real difference in the fight against cancer. Ride your bike, grab a spot in the spin zone, volunteer, and join the celebration September 23rd through 25th. 100% of participant-raised funds support innovative cancer research at Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Together, we can create a world without cancer. Get started now at pedalthecause.org. That's pedalthecause.org.
Serving St. Louis for over 96 years. KMOX.
All right, Rod, you said you got some updates on the window cracker?
We have PSAs.
Oh, PSAs.
Yes, public service announcements for the people listening to KMOX, because if we're anything, it's an information station. We did find out from a 618 texter who does have, actually is a 314 texter and a 618, but from the 314, you don't need to buy the window cracker. Your headrest, and I forgot about this, your headrest will come off, and the metal poles that are on the headrest, you can use that. So if you're submerged, all you have to do is press that up against the window, and it should shatter the window if you're submerged in water in your car. Yeah.
Would you have, so I struggle with headrests and pressing the button and getting the headrests out of the seat. Do you think you would have the wherewithal in that moment as you're sinking to turn around, unbuckle, get the headrest and push it against the window?
Now that I know that, maybe. But, before, never. I'd have been like,
the window cracker would be easier though, right? It's right there.
I guess, but and again, not everybody has one.
And also the tool that we're talking about, the automatic center punch. This is from a 618.
Yeah.
It's a perfect window breaker. This person says you just press it up against the middle of the window and there'll be a popping sound and then the entire thing will shatter. So our listeners have helped us survive our car being submerged in water, which I feel good now because I've been worried about it.
Thank you for the text.
But what if that happens to Ranj while he's on the way to the chiropractor?
I don't have to worry about the chiropractor.
You don't have to worry about that anymore. Yeah, he's not gonna arrive.
Well, if he has a window cracker, he can make it. But
I'll be late. I'll have to reschedule.
All right, guys. You want some some theories about alternative meanings for famous movies? So, in other words, you know the story of the movie, and there are people online who think that they have discovered the secret meaning of the plot or the secret plot that may not be as obvious as you think.
Like the fact that Hotel California is not really about a hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That idea.
Thanks, Amy.
So here's the first one. Okay, so the movie Grease. Okay, this is the theory. Did you see that, Amy?
Yes.
She calls it grease.
I'm trying to pick them. Yeah, you're right. She probably does.
She has a really weird way of pronouncing greasy.
Greasy.
I say greasy with a Z,
Yeah.
but grease with an S.
All right.
All the 35-year-olds who are in high school. That movie.
So here's the theory that Sandy is actually dying during this movie, right? So you hear the lyrics. She's in the water. She nearly drowned. Go through all that. And the theory is that the whole movie is what's playing out in her head as she's drowning with Danny and the gang and all that.
And that's why the car flies away at the end?
And that's why the car flies away at the end. That's her dying and going to heaven.
Huh. What's she dying from?
Drowning.
See, I don't remember the movie.
That was the Summer Nights song.
I've only seen it once.
Right.
She doesn't drown in the movie. It's Summer Nights.
It's the name of the song. He ran by
Summer
me,
Days,
got my suit.
whatever
Yeah. I saved her life. She nearly drowned. All that kind of stuff. So
I'm
buy
gonna
it or sell it. You buy it?
buy it.
I mean, the car
buy it.
flying away is kind of.
I like
that
it.
part does not fit in
No.
the
And it
movie
comes out of
at
nowhere.
all.
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. All right.
I do
so
remember that.
It goes from Grease to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in 1 second.
Oh, God, you're so old.
All right. So another one is that you remember? Did you see the movie Bruce Almighty? Do you
I
remember
have.
that one?
I know what it is.
Okay.
It is,
So the
Jim
theory,
Carrey.
the theory in that one is that Morgan Freeman is not God; he's actually the devil, and he's tempting Bruce with all of these powers to see how he would handle it.
Oh. Okay.
So
I don't think that one fits. As
I don't
well.
either because it's a comedy, and I'm not sure they're trying to go for deeper meaning.
You never know. You never know.
Could.
It could
They
be
could.
I
subversive.
mean, the comedies are the deepest meaning of all.
All right,
yeah,
so-
but that one's stupid.
All right. So Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
Yeah.
See that?
Yes.
All right. So the theory is that all of this is happening in Cameron's head. That none of these things in Ferris Bueller's Day Off
So-
happened. It all happened in Cameron's head. So it's kind of
Because
like
he's
a Fight
asleep.
Club thing.
And he's sick. He called off school, and so he's just laying in bed,
Yeah.
and he's dreaming this. Okay.
Yeah. So kind of like the Fight Club thing. Like it's, not to give any spoilers,
Well,
but it's a pretty old movie. So,
well, you ruined Fight Club for me. Interesting.
so yes, no, maybe.
Because
I'm going to say no.
You know the oldest trope in any type of storytelling, a play, a short story, a novel is it was all a dream.
How Newhart ended.
Yeah, that's the
That
oldest,
show, and I think it didn't it
tritest
irritate
trope.
people.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it did.
Like he dreamt the entire show.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah.
And wasn't that Roseanne? Didn't something happen where
I don't know.
John Goodman? Wait, is that who it is? John Goodman?
Yeah.
And Roseanne, like he was dead the whole time or
What?
something because like he had a heart. Dave, do you know what I'm talking about? What am I talking about?
Yeah, it was the final episode where they or it was like she was writing a book and she says, instead of what happened in real life, I wrote what I think should have happened.
Yeah.
Wait, does John
and that
Goodman-
was the story of the show.
The character
Dan Connor, does
did
he die at the end?
He
I don't
did
re-
die in one of the seasons.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, At
And
the
then he
very
came
end,
back.
at the very end, he had died in,
Yeah.
in
Oh.
real life.
All right.
Didn't recall that at all.
There's that one. We saying no to that one? The
Yeah,
Ferris Bueller?
I say no.
All right, here's another one. Movie Titanic. Did you see that, Amy?
Yes.
Okay. So that Jack only existed in Rose's imagination,
No.
according to this theory.
No, they had a fling and they did a thing in a car.
Who painted the painting? You know what I mean?
What's that?
Who painted her like a
I mean,
French
it was in her
girl.
head. It never happened.
Oh
She
my God.
imagined. She
It
imagined
did.
all
It
of that.
No.
It happened.
I like.
And by the way, letting Jack go into the water was her way of letting go of the fantasy.
Oh.
No.
I hate that lady, the old lady in the movie.
I know.
What?
She's kind of a jerk at the
Yeah,
end.
she is because they're on that expedition for the
Mhm.
diamond, and she's like, "Oh, I had it the whole time," and drops it in the water.
Yeah. Hey, all right, Blair Witch Project.
I didn't see it.
I know.
Oh,
You
I
didn't
can't.
see
You
it?
didn't see
No.
that? Really?
Wow. That seems
well,
like
I'm not gonna get that one if you guys didn't see it. Doesn't really help. What was the other one? There was one more that I wanted to get to that was
Amy, by the
on
way,
this list.
you don't
Oh,
get
here's the other
to
one.
you don't get to do the you haven't seen that thing
Yeah.
to anybody.
Here's the other one.
You can't do that to anybody.
Here's the other theory. This is from an old time. So you guys have both seen, I hope, The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hate that movie, by the way. But according to this, Glinda the Good Witch actually kidnapped Dorothy to kill the bad witches.
No.
That it wasn't just an accident. It wasn't just a tornado. That this was actually the Good Witch saying, you know what, I need a little help here.
No, I don't buy that because tornadoes in Kansas are very common.
Have you guys, the Wizard of Oz, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon thing, right? Where the Dark Side of the Moon, you start the album and it goes perfectly in sync with the black and white part of Wizard of Oz to when it turns
Oh
to
yeah.
color. Do you know the movie Mac and Me?
I know of it.
It
Haven't
works
seen
the
it.
same way with Flaming Lips Yoshimi battles the pink robots or the robots.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It's always something obscure with her.
Amy Obscura.
Ugh.
Did you hear what Glover said?
Every day, of course, new studies, new surveys, new this, new that. And it's all about gut health, which is now the most important thing in the world. It's not just about what you eat, it's about when you eat it. And I just about had a meltdown. And I think you guys will get this. But don't you yearn sometimes for the days of like grandma made an apple pie out of lard and you just eat it?
Right.
Stop it. Stop it. I'm just so tired of the minutia about life.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Man, I slept.
New ZzzQuil Pure Z's restorative herbal sleep is made for people who are tired of being tired.
I've never slept like this before. I've never woken up like this before.
A melatonin-free sleep aid made with a botanical blend that contains clinically studied and effective valerian root, hops, and passion flower, shown to help promote better restorative sleep. ZzzQuil Pure Z's restorative herbal sleep. Sleep this good, feel this good. Available at retailers near you.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At 1:30, we've got a sunny sky and 88 degrees downtown at the Arch. Consumers are reacting with dismay as the latest economic data shows surging prices for gas, food, and rent, pushing U.S. inflation to a new 4-decade peak in June. Consumer prices soared 9.1% compared with the year earlier, the government said today, the biggest 12-month increase since 1981, up from an 8.6% jump in May.
I go and try to get milk, and like even a half gallon of milk, it's hard to find for under $8. Which is really hard.
And we want to let you know about a major closure on the interstates. MoDOT still says that 70 East is closed at Cave Springs Truman. That's due to a vehicle that's on its side. It looks like 70 East around Cave Springs, backed up to Mid-Rivers Mall Drive right now. Looking at the camera, looks like we've got at Zumble, 70 at Zumble. We do have the traffic moving, but it is quite a backup. A lot of cars jammed up there. 70 in St. Charles County is closed at Cave Springs Truman. Also, debris 70 west past 370. The center lanes are closed. And debris 70 east at Salisbury. The right lane is closed. And our weather forecast is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Fairly low humidity today with a high of 90, low 72 overnight, dropping into the 60s in many suburbs. And for tomorrow, sunny and hot with a high of 94. At Penn Mutual, they believe that life insurance is the central part of a sound financial plan, and it can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. It's sunny and 88 degrees. It feels like 89 downtown at the Arch right now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Tom Ackerman sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to yourEyeDoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Guys, I want to talk to you man to man about erectile dysfunction and PE. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer custom blended medications that have men lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey for my trusted friend and realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is the agent I've been recommending for years. If you are planning to sell your home in this crazy seller's market, you do not want to leave a single dollar on the table. You'll love working with Gloria. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she will buy it guaranteed in writing. Her secret? Well, Gloria has the buyers. Thousands of ready buyers looking for homes in your price range and in your neighborhood. Lawrence and and Shelby sold their St. Louis home in just 3 days at $17,250 over asking price, with multiple offers when their previous agent produced 0 results. They chose Gloria over other agents, and they were thrilled with the results. You should call Gloria Lou today with any questions. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Join me Monday mornings at 9:50 for our new feature, 5 Minutes with Number 5. And you know who that is? Albert Pujols. 5 Minutes with Number 5. Mondays at 9:50 a.m. on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
All right, so today is the first day of NHL free agency, and things have been busy in and around the Blues. So we mentioned earlier in the show, they signed Robert Thomas. Now, he wasn't a free agent. He had another year before reaching free agency, but the Blues have agreed to an 8-year, $65 million deal to keep Robert Thomas around for the long term. Pretty good deal for a 23-year-old, right? I mean, he's only going to be 31 when it wraps up. So you're getting the very best of his career by locking in that term. Now, they also agreed to a deal with Nick Leddy. Those are both moves, by the way, that the Blues have announced. These are not rumors. They have announced them. So they signed Nick Leddy to a 4-year deal, and goalie Thomas Greiss has been signed to a 1-year deal to come in to be the backup goalie to Jordan Binnington.
Yes, because I don't know if we might have mentioned this already, but Charlie Lindgren, who became kind of a cult favorite, he just signed a 3-year deal with the Washington Capitals.
Good for him getting a 3-year deal, by the way. Good for him. I mean, think about it. Like, coming into the year, he was basically like the 5th guy in the Blues organization, like just a guy. And now all of a sudden he's kind of had a career resurgence, and now he's got a 3-year deal. That's awesome for him.
And it is not yet official, but the player that we have been monitoring the most closely, I guess.
Talked about it with JR yesterday.
That's right. Frank Saravelli reporting that David Perron is close to a deal with the Detroit Red Wings.
Wow.
And Jeremy Rutherford is backing up that report as well. So
Steve
it looks
Yzerman's been poaching Blues.
Dude, Steve Yzerman is now like 30 years into pouring salt in that wound. He just really wants, he's like, they hate me in St. Louis already. Let's make it worse.
Well, they traded for Robbie Fabry, and then I think they've signed him to a multi-year deal. They did that, like, I think this past, like,
I don't
last
think anybody
offseason.
hated them for that, though.
No. And then they just traded for Ville Husso, and now they're signing David Perron. So clearly, old Steve Yzerman likes Blues players. He likes the players that the Blues have drafted and developed.
So it is not yet done, but we have 2 different reporters, good ones, who are saying that they are close to a deal. So it looks like David Perron will be a Red Wing soon.
Do you know, and this is just because I was a teenager in the 90s watching NHL hockey. And of course, the Blues, it was just every season ended with despair. And you hated the Red Wings, but you would watch the rivalry of the Red Wings and the Avalanche, because our biggest rival were the Detroit Red Wings, but the Detroit Red Wings' biggest rival were the Colorado Avalanche. And there was something, as much as you hate Stan Kroenke and everything about the Avalanche winning the cup, I'm not going to lie, seeing Joe Sakic on the ice was actually kind of cool for me. When the Colorado Avalanche won the cup, he's in the front office now, and I
like Sakic.
I like Joe Sakic, and to be honest, again, this is probably sacrilege, but I kind of like having guys like Steve Yzerman running these teams, because it feels, again, we just know the names. There's something about it that I like, the sentimentality of it, versus, okay, we're just bringing in this guy who's going to make these decisions, doesn't know the team, doesn't know the city. Again, it's business. You should bring in those guys. But me being sentimental, kind of like seeing Yzerman.
This is a little easier to swallow, though, now that you're not even in the same conference.
It would be
like, that would really suck if you're still in the same division, and then Perron comes in and scores a hat trick against you, and you got to wear that. That would. Of course, I mean, as bad as Detroit's been, they're not really. It's funny because remember, like you said, Amy, like the Wings were more a rival to the Blues, where the Wings' biggest rivalry at the time was the Avalanche, and historically, it's kind of been Toronto, right? Like they've always had the big crowds back and forth. It's like Cubs. It's kind of a Cubs Cardinals kind of feel. But now, I mean, for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, Wings aren't a rival. They suck too much.
Yeah, I mean, they've been
too bad. Yeah,
and this is, again, I'm such a sentimentalist when it comes to sports, but even knocking down the Joe Louis Arena, and now they have the Little Caesars Arena. It's just different. There was something about the Joe and knowing the Blues were going to Detroit, and it's just completely different. We'll never get back to that. But I am glad again that Yzerman is back in Detroit. Of course, he spent all that time in Tampa Bay, kind of in training from returning back to Detroit, is in my view.
Should throw in a couple other quick ones. The Blues sent out press releases on this not that long ago, maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. They signed Will Bitton, who's a forward, to a 2-year, two-way contract. So he's 24 years old. And the Blues actually got him from Minnesota in December, but they signed him to a 2-year deal. And then they signed Noel Acciari, who was playing for the Florida Panthers last year, 30-year-old. He had 27 goals last year. A pretty good addition. So there you go. Blues are busy on the first day of free agency.
Hey, speaking of that Red Wings Avalanche rivalry, did you see yet that unrivaled?
Is it good?
I haven't seen it yet, but it was on ESPN, so I know you can go back and find it. But that documentary about that late 90s, early 2000s rivalry looks real. They had Konstantinov was in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they talked to him.
So a few years ago, I think it was on the anniversary of The Fight, and I'll explain what that is, but that was Colorado Avalanche and Detroit Red Wings. We interviewed here on KMOX Chris Draper. Now, Chris Draper was on the Detroit Red Wings.
Well, he was the...
he had Claude Lemieux broke his face.
He was the victim of a really cheap shot.
Really dirty hit, and it quite literally broke his face. Now, people always remember 1996 because that was the year that Gretzky gave up the puck to Yzerman in the neutral zone, and Yzerman shot the puck outside the blue line over John Casey's shoulder, ending the hopes and dreams of a 12-year-old me. But after that, the Red Wings played the Colorado Avalanche, and it was in Game 6, the same game that the Colorado Avalanche clinched the series. Claude Lemieux broke Chris Draper's face on a really tough hit. And the story he tells, he's in the hospital. And
So is this from the documentary?
Nope, this is from a conversation with him. But this is like to show you the level of that rivalry. So he was in the hospital, the team's flying out, and Chris Draper says, "You cannot leave me in the hospital." So he basically rips stuff out of his arm and makes his way to the team plane. And a couple of his teammates, I'm pretty sure, got sick when they saw him on the plane.
Ugh.
Months later, like in the next season, Colorado plays Detroit Red Wings, and that was 1997. That was The Fight, when you had Hall of Famers like Patrick Waugh, Peter Forsberg throwing haymakers, and it just bench-clearing brawl. And, of course, the Red Wings won in 97 and 98 after that. But that rivalry was unlike anything else we have in sports.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about the Blues and how much, like, I really despised Detroit then. And you think that's our rival, and they're like, "Hey, we slow down. We got to worry about this Colorado
Honestly,
team
though,
over here."
For how long has it been the exact opposite, though, for the Cardinals and Cubs rivalry?
Same,
right?
Very
like
similar.
Forever, the Cardinals are like, "Pshaw, you're the Cubs." I mean, it's a fun rivalry for us, but we're going to kick your ass anyway. And I think that was kind of the vibe the other way, just on the other side of this. Except that the Blues all those years were good. It's not like, the Cubs have really almost never been good in modern times. I mean, they have little stretches where they're really good, but for the most part, they're not. The Blues all those years were fantastic. They just didn't have it in those series against the Wings.
In the last 20 years, though, I don't know there's a team from a Cardinals fan perspective they hate more than the Cubs.
Right.
Like, I still think
I
it's
hate
the
the
Cubs.
Phillies.
I still think it's
Or
like
the Reds,
that's
I
the
mean, the
rival.
Reds.
Even if the Cubs stink, that's still the rivalry.
Yeah, but in that case, you're just beating up on your little brother.
But
and
to me,
from what I'm told, some people like to do that. a lot.
I did a little bit of that.
the Cubs rivalry is fun. For me, the Cincinnati Reds, I actually dislike from the
Because of the
depths
Cueto
of
thing?
my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of ruined it for me. Hey, Kevin, did you watch an old-timey movie recently? Because so far today, you have said Dag Nabbit and Pshaw.
Pshaw.
You
I said Dag
Nabbit?
Nabbit before the show.
Yes.
I forgot why.
But we were off air.
We
so
were
there
off
wasn't
air. We
even
were
a
like in there,
reason.
and I said it because you don't like swears.
Well, you guys.
Oh, who cares?
Oh, you say it all the time.
But I know, but it was kind of like that was the joke. Like I'm going to pretend that I'm not going to swear because Amy doesn't like the swears.
Amy doesn't like swears, but I will tell you, I empty out the catalog around her.
That's awful.
I do.
It
I
was
make
so
sure
mad.
she hears all of
But
them.
I just think Dag Nabbit and Pshaw.
I just want
That was
maybe
old-timey.
maybe one day for Amy to hear one. She goes, you know what? I kind of like that one, and then she starts to use it. and it'll be the gateway
So what
drug
you're saying
into.
is that you and I need to be more creative.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Steve, are you listening? Steve's our boss.
Oh, he's listening.
The
All right.
meeting's at 2.
We're having a meeting at 2. And
I
there
think
will be a flogging.
I think he's got some ideas too.
Not
Oh,
about
on bad
cussing.
words? I think he does too. We spend
Oh, heavens to
by the way,
Betsy.
when we have our show meetings,
Uh-huh.
we spend a considerable amount of time trying to figure out what Amy is.
You know
That's
about
a really terrible way of saying that.
What's the nice way, Kevin?
Figuring out how we can help Amy. Or be more kind to Amy, maybe the better way to put it.
No one's trying to do that.
Guys, you'll never know. This facade that I have right here. This is all you'll know.
You got plans, huh?
We all live double lives, boys.
One of these days.
Come on.
One of these days, we're both going to get it. It's just
No,
gonna be like,
we're not. Look
Yeah.
at her. She's too nice.
That's the
That's-
facade.
that's the facade. Do you know what the word facade means, Ron? Just try using a
No,
dictionary.
it's inside.
Answer man.
Yeah, it's in there, man. That's just who you are. It's more than a facade. I'm not worried about you.
Do you know what a facade actually is?
Yeah.
Outside of a building.
Like it's an outside that gives the impression of it's different than what it's actually made of or what's on the interior. It's like it's architectural by nature.
It's also a window.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
got multiple definitions.
So
do
when
you
it comes
need
to
new
Amy,
facades?
when it comes to
Yeah.
Amy, the facade is the window into her soul. I know what she is.
Can someone please clean the facade?
That's right.
It's also like, because it's the front of a place usually.
Yeah.
That's the fake front that we put up.
We were
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about,
But that's what we said.
Right. So that's, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
you brought up movie plots
Yeah.
earlier, and Timothy checked in on Facebook, and he said, "It's a Wonderful Life
Oh, I like this one.
should end with everybody beating up Potter." There's an SNL sketch from, I guess it's the 80s. I know Dennis Miller's in it, Dana Carvey's in it, where that happens. Like
Yeah.
they catch him and they dump him out of his wheelchair and they just start beating him up.
There's also a
Have
theory
you not
that
seen this?
there's also the theory that The
Oh, it's
Wonderful
great.
Life is basically a version of the Truman Show.
So, what?
They're pounding on the door. They're calling on the phone. It's the collectors. It's those credit cards you ran up trying to start your business. Now you found out that a DBA hurts the family and brings the pain home.
For over 40 years, Ray Reynolds has helped customers get millions in credit. Ray Reynolds will get your score above 750. Do you need 50,000 of corporate credit? Now you can call Ray's webinar at 800-486-9020 and get your credit score up to 750 and receive a $1,000 cash credit card within days. That's 800-486-9020.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in your neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's premier James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home by calling Banner Construction 314-569-1050.
I'm sure that you've felt the shift in the real estate market and have wondered how it will affect you. Is it time to buy or is it time to sell? What are your options? Hi, I'm Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Give us a call and we can discuss a strategy that works for your individual needs in this ever-changing market. Quality and experience at a more affordable rate. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444. 314-441-4444.
Free Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
If you're recently retired or nearing retirement,
you've got your work cut out for you. Between soaring inflation, stock market volatility, and the threat of higher taxes, saving and investing alone won't be enough. Learn how you could overcome today's toughest retirement challenges in a one-night adult education class called Retirement 101. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects, one of the largest advisory firms in St. Louis. The strategies discussed are best suited for people who have saved at least $300,000 for retirement. And if you call today, your tuition fee is waived. To register, call 314-626-8817. This is your opportunity to learn from decades of financial planning experience. Call 314-626-8817. 314-626-8817.
Military Appreciation Night, presented by Valley Sports Midwest, returns to the ballpark on Friday, July 15th. With the purchase of a theme ticket, fans receive an exclusive Cardinals cap, honoring their favorite branch of the military. Plus, don't miss a pregame performance by United States Air Force Band Starlifter on the Budweiser stage. A portion of each ticket purchased will be donated to USO Missouri. For tickets, visit cardinals.com/theme. When the Cardinals host the Reds on Friday, July 15th, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home a specially designed all-over print Cardinals hat, courtesy of Brown & Crouppen. Dress to impress with this exclusive Cardinals hat, featuring vintage Cardinals logos all over. That's Friday, July 15th. The Cardinals, the Reds, and the all-over print hat. Great seats remain. Get yours at cardinals.com/promotions.
How long does it take an adult to learn to swim? It typically takes 20 hours of set lessons. What are you waiting for? Go to swimonfoundation.org.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. This summer, try some eco-friendly water sports like paddleboarding, swimming, or diving. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold BMW. The new all-electric BMWs are here, and it proves that you don't have to be ugly to be electric. Come and drive one of these, and you'll kick your Tesla to the curb. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Back to the show.
Yeah, the show!
With Amy, Chris, and Kevin on KMOX.
It's the show. I just wanted to say
Do it.
I just wanted to. I made
this?
Kevin nervous.
How about this?
You're
You-
listening to the show.
You guys do it.
Yeah.
Amy, say you're listening to the show.
I'm not going to say you're listening. I'll say, hey, welcome back. It's the show with Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler, Amy Mark Scores. Chris.
Hi.
That was
Hey.
You know what? We're all very good at this,
Oh, my gosh.
aren't we?
Oh, my
Aren't we good at
gosh.
this?
This is the beginning of the end, Kevin.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, I agree, but
yeah,
Yeah.
you're being weird.
Being? It's not like it just started.
That's true. It is your general state of being.
I know. It's my general state
General
of being.
state of being is weird. Let's see. What are we going to do? Oh, I want to remind everybody of this. Obviously, Cardinals and Dodgers tonight here on KMOX. 5:50 pregame, 6:45 first pitch. Adam Wainwright pitching, Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. And I misquoted it earlier. He doesn't have a 1.92 ERA. He has a 1.62 ERA.
Oh, well, way to mess it up.
I know. I'm an idiot. I know. I just don't want to put fake news out there.
Do you?
Hey.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Amy.
well,
What?
this
Do
was-
you hate what?
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. Sorry.
This was about fake news, so we're turning left here,
Let's go.
Ranj. That
Thank God.
you saw this, Kevin, but there was a fraud cricket league, Indian Premier
I
Cricket
love this
League
story.
that's so much like The Sting. And yes, I mean the 1973 movie with Paul Newman and Robert Redford, where they have a whole fraudulent gambling racket so that they could get all this money, and it's very, very, very elaborate. This fake Premier League, this cricket league, is incredibly detailed and might be one of the most impressive things I've ever
So
seen.
what? Yeah. So I found this story. I don't remember when it was, but earlier in
It was a couple days ago.
Yeah. So essentially, gang members in India created a fake cricket league.
Indian Premier League.
They
cricket,
did like
yep.
news on it. They did like box scores, and they did it all so they could scam Russian dudes into gambling on it.
Yeah.
And obviously
Great.
they just keep the money.
It reached the quarterfinal stage before the racket was busted by police in India. Here's what they did. They installed a cricket pitch complete with boundary lines and halogen lamps. They had high-resolution cameras on the ground and used computer-generated graphics to display scores on a live streaming screen. They even had a guy who sounds like the real cricket broadcaster broadcast the games, and it was all on their YouTube channel and the IPL channel. And they said the gang allegedly hired laborers and unemployed young people, paying them $4.20 a game.
And this went on for 2 weeks.
It was a
Like
while,
they were able to get away with this for 2 whole weeks.
They had crowd noise and sound effects downloaded from the internet. And the camera angles, camera operators made sure that the entire ground was never shown, but they did close-ups of players instead. And all of these Russian gamblers were lured into betting their rubles on a Telegram channel set up by the gang, who would then alert the fake umpire on the pitch using walkie-talkies.
So which is worse, though? Which is worse? The Russian gamblers getting scammed here, or the people that bet on NFL preseason games? Like which are the more degenerate gamblers? The Russians are like, I will bet on fake league.
I don't think they knew it was fake.
It's fake.
They were just betting on the league.
Well, they thought it was legitimate.
Yeah, they're gonna bet on a league they've never heard of.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this league before, and I need to gamble
So,
on
and
it.
again, this really is like the Sting, where the quote unquote official would signal the bowler and batsman to hit a 6 or a 4 or an out. And quite
Is it
literally
a thing to hit the wicket?
hit the wicket.
Is there
that
a wicket?
croquet?
I think there is a. I
is
think
there a wicket in cricket?
Is there a wicket?
Is there a cricket wicket?
I think there's a cricket wicket.
I know croquet has a wicket.
That's
Did you know croquet was invented so that ladies and gentlemen could play a sport together, and it was very nice and very cordial, and then they could flirt with each other?
People were weird.
It was like the 16th or 17th century.
The cricket wicket is the 3 little posts that stick out of the ground.
You know, my favorite thing in there is the agricultural shot in cricket. It's my favorite cricket.
The
thing.
agricultural shot?
That's what it says.
What
And
is
arm.
that?
I like the arm ball also,
Oh, I love the arm ball.
What's the arm ball?
and especially
It's for the Kevin, explain the arm ball to Amy.
well, it's when you move the blinker over to the left
That's it.
and then you just swing it.
Right.
Do you know how many guys are on the field for cricket?
70.
No, that's not right.
Yeah.
I
70.
will say, when I was in England with my sister, we were there for 2 weeks, and cricket was on a lot. And I watched it, and it is not like baseball. If you are just watching cricket without the sound on, there's no way for you to understand the rules at all.
Actually, what I have watched it. It's actually entertaining.
Sure.
I went to a cricket match in the Sydney Olympics in 2000, and it was Great Britain versus India. And it was a huge rivalry, and they're
Wow.
like 2 of the best in the world. I had no idea what was happening, but it was awesome.
The crowd was into it,
It
weren't
was
they?
awesome.
They must have been really into
Wait,
it.
that was field
But
hockey.
I'm sure
It wasn't cricket. It was field
Are
hockey.
you joking
Men's
right
field
now?
hockey. No, I'm serious. It was men's field
Did
hockey.
you think it was cricket?
No, I knew what it
Kevin.
was, but it was also, but it was those two, and it was a huge rivalry,
Field hockey is a men's sport like everywhere else in the world.
except here.
Anyway, well, that was fun.
Yep. You guys all learned something about cricket
And the wickets.
and the wickets.
There is a cricket wicket.
Yep. There's also a thing called a duck in cricket, but I don't know what that is.
It's a bird, Kevin.
Oh, okay. You guys have a good day. DGS next on KMOX.
I want to thank all my customers and the listeners and the referrals that we've been receiving. The referrals we receive are phenomenal. They're actually, it makes my heart happy. I have seen in the company has experienced